can get that all set as well. Boom. Do. Where is that? How do we do this again? Trying to make sure I get this all going. There's supposed to be something that pops up for it. No.
Yo, yo.
Yo. I'm trying to see if I can get the stream together functioning.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let me see. Trying to get that so that way we're good to go. Is it me or does the stream on Discord look a little pixelated?
I can. It's on 72030. I could up it if you'd like.
Try to up it, and if we have to, we'll go down for future ones.
No worries.
Just because if we can do it better quality, you know, it's always the best. All right, there we go. I got the stream together started. So whenever you're ready.
Oh, I don't know if is the server even boosted anymore. I can't even change the
Can you not?
resolution.
Uh-oh.
No.
It says it's boosted.
Let me try turning it off on and off. 1 second.
Yeah, see. It says it's boosted. Uh-oh. Weird.
Yeah, it's not allowing me. I
Oh,
don't have the
no.
option to.
Okay. So why don't we... I'm going to just start us... I'm going to do a call with the three of us instead. So that way...
Yeah, no worries.
We have us three all in a call.
I'm just going to try and manage this chaos in the chat. There's so many people typing.
I know, right?
What's going on?
It's all good.
Yo. Let's try again. Yeah, it's still 72030, unfortunately, is the max I can do.
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's...
I don't know if they changed it on Discord. It used to
Maybe.
be 108030.
Yeah, that's like it used to be. So I don't know, maybe they changed something that we weren't aware of. Oh well. That's how it is.
Yep.
People are saying there's 13 teams?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on. I think there's one potential reserve team, and then they've actually arrived now. Or something
Yeah,
along
I
those
guess. Well, I guess that we had 13 teams sign up. I thought we only had 12 teams, and then we have a 13th. So that
should have had only 12.
Right, that's like there was
seeing.
12 on there, and then we replaced Rat with Risk. So that is interesting. Well, let's see if we can figure this out, because there's two teams trying to... Okay, well, that is interesting. Did not expect that. I don't know what happened there, because we definitely had 12 teams sign up, and somehow we had a second team besides Risk. Now, the only thing I'm wondering, do we want to try to run with 13 teams?
Oh, if you want to add the extra bit of chaos on.
It's up to if the players are okay with it. We can ask them if they are okay with running an extra team. As long as it doesn't cause lag. If it causes lag, then obviously we're going to have a problem. But
You can't. Oh, we can't even start games with 13 teams apparently.
oh, we can't? Okay. Well,
There's some sort of restriction potentially. Oh yeah, it said grayed out.
it is. Okay. Well then, I'm going to have to say I feel bad on this one because Risk did step in last second to try to hop in for us, but if we have to drop a team, it would have to be Risk because that would be the last team to join.
Sure,
Which sucked because they were the team that were saving our butts in the first place. But if we're being fair about it, right, were the last team, and so we'd have to be fair, and we'd have to drop Risk. I feel bad. I'll owe it to those three players for something in the future. Then
I'm trying to think of a way of wording this.
Not, and you can tell Magical says that unfortunately they were the last team.
Condolences. That's gonna write it like you're some sort of mafia boss.
Yeah. So I do feel bad. Oh. Apparently Streamlabs just timed out. Poor Chipsa for some reason. I have no idea what happened there. So GG. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. But I do feel bad. Revel, I'm gonna have to ask you and the rest of Risk to be the ones to step out. I will owe you the three of you. But unfortunately, because it is the last team. Yeah. Just because they were the last team. They were the last team that would be signed up. I don't know who. Let me see on the forms though, because yeah, it says 12. So who's the team who is the? Okay, wait. There's a team that is here that wasn't signed up. Who is that team?
Is the TFIR Crystal Wayne team, or?
No. Well, that one, yes. But because they were the ones that were trying to replace... that was the team that was trying to replace Rats.
Ah, okay.
So,
and is Rebel's team in that list? Original.
That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay, no worries.
I believe it is Risk that is the one that's not in the list at all. They were not in the signups. So that is the problem. And so if we're being fair, Risk are the team that would be the sub team. They'd be the backup team that was not on the signups. QTS. Three Little Pigs. Rat, which is RCW. EV. Right, EV. EV. Real ones. TSM and Mist. Yeah, so Risk is the one team. They're the only team that technically was going to step in to help us if we needed a team, but they are the backup team, so they are the team that has to step out, unfortunately. Yes, Fusu, it is a little scuffed, unfortunately, but we're getting it all resolved. So I owe the players of Risk for future events. We're gonna have to put a rain check on them that I owe them a future event where they get a free pass and they get to automatically play.
But hopefully we get on another tournament in not too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay them back in dividends. They get a bit of interest on top as well, right?
Yeah.
You're going to hand bake them a cake or something along those lines.
Something like that. So I owe them. Let's just change Risk to RCW, and then we will be good.
Yep. Looking good. All right. So it's going to be a bullet trains, of course, for the first one.
Yes.
Unlock armory, no resurgence, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking good to go.
We are looking good to go. So
let's go.
I will have to message those players and tell them that my sincerest apologies.
Select your hunter. Alchemy applied. You are the drop leader.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to make sure I went through the full list, went through every last one of them. Can we have a redo, please? Yeah, I think Lancelot's talk. It gave me a random hunter. Uh-oh. I beg.
Are you good with it, Magical? Do you want to restart or you want to send it?
Well, let's just let's double check if everyone is. Yeah, honestly, we could just restart it.
Yeah, no worries.
We can restart it. We're already early enough into it. We'll restart it, but I will tell you right now, 1 month's salary gone for Lance. Mike cooked. But I think we could restart. Let's see. Who did Lance get? I want to see who gave. Where's Lance? Yeah, so just restart it.
Yep, sure.
But this is it. You only get the one. So if you mess up again,
Yeah,
Lance,
you only get the one.
if it happens again, it sucks. Sucks to suck. Who are we fanboying tonight? We're fanboying the Mad Magical / Samiri streams, and then we're hate watching nobody because we're loving everybody. We're enjoying some Super 5. That's what's happening today.
All right, wicked, wicked, wicked.
Okay.
Should be good, hopefully.
Yes.
Surely.
Let's get into this. Bro, I insta-locked without looking. It was on right there. There we go. Where's Tom Kick? I know. Sadly, no Tom Kick in this one. No Nidhogg either. At least I don't know about NA signups yet. We'll look at that later. But here we go.
All good, all good.
We are getting into game 1 of the Mercury Multiverse. We got to see how our teams will approach Mercury over in APAC. We got to see quite some interesting developments. I was talking to you about that before, Samiri. So over in APAC, Wukong was the #1 pick. And just so everyone knows and is clear on the rules, after 3 games, the 3 most picked hunters outside of Mercury will be banned. So Mercury obviously is going to be immune to that so that we see multiple different strategies with that. But over in APAC, Wukong was the most. And then it was Felix as #2. So let's look and see how our EU teams are approaching this one, Samiri.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting, I reckon. You know, when you're looking at these picks, is there anything that, takes you off guard? We already seen Orlando's with the Felix. Maybe he's stayed up late to watch those games.
And not seeing nearly that much Wukong compared to how it was over in APAC, where it was pretty much every single team playing Wukong. And as Luca said, only the 1 pick onto Felix here for EU. Very different. Not surprising to see a lot of Kingpins. That's EU and Kingpin. Name a more iconic duo, I dare you. They love their Kingpin, but seeing some other strategies as right now, it is BM racing for the Sky Sharks. A push off of one of them to immediately get a spike. BM down a player. And it is going to be the chase from 3 Little Pigs looking for Spider Brawl, who's on that respawn beacon already, trying to get an early revive, but they have been scattered so quickly. And then we go over to the fight. FFD are down a player as well. Fate Strikes, the one down as EV playing aggressively. Fuzu, a nice back blast trying to separate the fight between them and Levi. Does seem they should be able to do so, but are going to be down 1 player already.
Just after that initial bit of chaos, maybe it's still, simmering a bit, but I think maybe after this last little bit from Levi that he can, he's got the car, he's going to be fine. So yeah, I think it's going to be maybe a stable early game. I say that, and something else might be brewing here potentially between QTS and TR1.
Yeah, we'll see, because it's going to be very interesting how these teams are approaching everything. Over in APAC, we're going to mention this quite a bit for the first few games, because in APAC, we actually saw a lot of teams play very passively early. Kind of like we had seen a long time ago for both NAEU, when we first had the scrims back in open beta, where early game was a lot more calm, a lot more passive. We saw that in APAC, and here for EU, we're already seeing a lot of early aggression, as it's EV looking to see if they can punish FFD early, but Phase Strikes had already gotten the revive. Now trying to steal away some gold, but couldn't get out of there with the heist. Not quite in time.
It, man.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
it's almost like the Payday 3 release. That game came out with the obvious with the vault hacking and the vault stealing. And, that game crumbled as well, unfortunately. So I'm hoping, man, that's super unfortunate. I mean, I like Payday 2. I don't know if you've played that one and the first one and the second one. They were pretty good games.
I never really played that much on it, unfortunately. So, yeah, I watched a lot of people play it, but I never really got into it personally. More just because PC,
got you.
stuff like that. But okay, I want to ask you a question on this one, because looking over on how the new patches and how a lot of will say the dunking changes definitely have taken certain strategies off of the priority. But other things that I thought would kind of pop up a little bit more, such as I think Chips had a good call, same with Mr. Fluffyfish. Not nearly that much Oath either.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't think there's been a severe effect. I mean, obviously the patch has been still quite recent in people's minds. I don't feel like enough people have experimented with the changes because there's been so many as well. You know, to really fully digest, you know, how the patch is actually going to change things in the long run. But immediate effects, I'm not really sure if there has been anything, you know, kind of any knee-jerk reactions or anything like that so far that I've immediately felt. In respect to spiking as well, in the scrim block that I did actually manage to spectate, there was only about, like, I'd say maybe about 5 to 6 instances that I caught on camera where, you know, the spiking changes actually saved someone, which I thought would be quite a lot more, but I don't know if you've observed a, you know, big difference in
I
in that
definitely
sort of
did. Definitely did over
Okay.
on APAC, where we saw a lot of situations that would have been spikes in the past and would have been dunks before that did not mount to that and actually allowed for teams to be able to bounce back, get better fights, reset, and actually win against odds that seemed like they would have been stacked against them in the past. So it was very interesting to see the changes on a lot of that, and that's where I'm looking at a lot of these different hunters, and I'm looking at things. I'm surprised we're also seeing not that much Bishop. I thought there would be a little bit more Bishop play. There's something really good at engaging, starting off a lot of fights that doesn't necessarily need to rely on dunks. So not seeing nearly as much of that, which is, I think those are the bigger surprises to me. I thought that some of our dunking hunters, some of them I thought would stay around, such as Wukong. But other ones that I thought that would really be hit, like Kingpin or even Tetra, people are still playing them very confidently, and they're not really too worried about that, and they're not really going to the other strategies we had seen in the past.
Exactly. And then there's also other things like we've got like a new consumable, the anomaly item. I don't know if you've seen anyone in APAC utilize that one.
Yes, we did earlier. We saw some crazy plays with some anomalies that wouldn't have been there normally that allowed for some crazy situations. So I am curious to see if we get any of those, especially around some of our thicker walls. We're getting towards the Chaos Steps, which would be a great area for people to utilize that for.
Yep, and Hatch is already trying to do something, but Orlando's is there, chilling behind the wall, gets a little bit of LMB damage, and he gets a spike. In fact, Spider Brawl.
Spider Brawl found the dunk perfectly there onto the Shy. Well, I guess the Sis or the Shy, whatever they want to be called now. So getting Yes Sir really good there from Spider Brawl, where I didn't think it would actually land. Barely was able to get enough and get them down that 70% threshold, because that's the bigger thing. It's just making sure you're getting the damage before looking for the dunks, and then afterwards you can utilize those dunks to pretty much the same effect that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there's been kind of some other like side. It's not necessarily a side change. It's more like just kind of part of the star economy that people have. You know, most people have 3-star items now. So because of that, you know, in vaults and stuff, you can typically find 3-star items. It's kind of accelerated the kind of game pace that the developers initially intended with custom games, at least.
Yes.
You know, it used to be, you know, where you can buy 2-star items, but you're finding a lot of 3 stars in vaults that are. And if you high roll, I guess, you know, you're getting that insanely powerful item. Orlando's managed to make that with a slither of HP, maybe not, in fact.
Yeah, that was the problem right there that I saw. Even though he dodged that, you're surrounded by way too many teams. In fact, the rest of BM are going to be in a bad spot. We go over to Ion Acres. ADD up against the Stormbreakers too. Looks like a lot of teams coalescing around Ion Acres and this fortress. Which team is going to start off the fight? We see a Fusillade pumping out some damage from Levi, but taking a lot more on his side as well. They put down the Cinnabar Cocktail, try to see if they can get some of their health back. Well, we do have BM eliminated off screen, and then it's going to be the Dunk Hachi actually getting that one back, turning that around, and then ADD I'm going to go up north while still inside of Ion Acres. There was the full-on fight, but we go over to Imotech and we see the real ones and Miss 200. Lock and Horn sending out mortar after mortar, looking to see what it's going to be able to land. A nuke launched at Miss will keep them away in Imotech, but always threatening these fights, even looking for Kuba's dunk. Purple doing the same, and now trying to heal back up with the help of the contingency vial. Will keep Kuba nice and healthy, while Purple not feeling the same, trying to get back on top of their Cinnabar Cocktail so they can get some of their health back, but it's going to be a dunk for dunk. damage on each side. While Kalskinator takes the golden beam, will be perfectly happy in this scenario. But we see fighting all over the breach right now. Down in Ion Acres still. EV, it is going to be the team that now beats the Stormbreakers, pushing them back. And we see pushing slowly into Imotech. Some of our teams now moving that way while the Shy in nighttime Kobayashi's not really seeing any teams nearby.
Yep, it was such a cacophony of fights consistently happening for that period of time, and then things have just finally calmed down again. TR1 and MST were having their own individual fights. FFD are now looking to potentially try and grab this soul if possible. RMB's used by Purple, doesn't get a stun onto Fate Strikes, just managed to make away relatively unscathed. QTS are just lurking in the distance. They're looking for a clean third party if possible.
Lots and lots of teams all moving around here, kind of ready for this possible fight. But which team is going to start it off is going to be the real question. As we look down to the Chaos Steps, it is going to be the push back onto TSM, already using that golden beam too, making sure they can take down a little meat. But I'm looking at Imotech. That is really going to be where things are going to boil over. Having a soul on the line, now Purple forced to go up into the air, utilize the Dragon Slam, getting a lot of damage back. They've been able to take down OC-15 with the help of the Salvo, now pushing back the real ones, taking the golden beam, but they got a lot of damage over onto the real ones, seeing if they can actually get the damage. QTS will revive OC-15, and now they could look for the fight against the real ones, but they decide to let them go. Well, we see it all the way down by Kobayashi's. It is going to be the spikes onto ADD. Only Sebi remains for the team.
Really clean play there by Hachi, taking down 2 members, and is RCW looking to potentially get away from this one, and just right at the end,
Run!
have capitalizing on them. Super low HP.
Barely Rift gets out of that one, so now another team down to only 1 player. We look at the real ones in Imotech, a little bit outside of this outpost against FFD, and a lot of our teams only down to 1 player here or there. I'm looking at ADD. I'm looking at RCW and how they're going to be positioning afterwards. A nice Tetraform to catch the Wukong, but the pull from Theo as Blink will fall. Then the Golden Beam to take down Accolings. A 1-for-1 trade as they're trying to get the revive. But EV, they're out of nowhere. They're going to third party this one. They've got the Fuselage pumping out the damage onto Oath as he tries to get over on the other side of the mortar, nearly collecting the kill. But they have been able to get away and up on the pull. Dragon Slam taking a lot of damage onto Levi. Blink has taken him down, but they still have that Cinnabar cocktail with the contingency vial. Should be able to heal up Levi. Well, we see all these teams, so much fighting, yet somehow they're able to get out alive.
Looking at a TFIR, he's still managing to stay alive. Not even in the bushes, he's just, staying there as a mannequin doll right at the end. In open sight. On the right hand side as well, we're also looking at some farm going on for day 4 mob resets, of course. FFD with the rewind Fate Strikes. Maybe looking to apply a little bit of pressure onto SB, but kind of circles back right at the last second. And aside from that, things are looking relatively calm for now. But on the south side, we're looking at maybe some gatekeeping, EV, and 3LP.
The Golden Beam just melts through Levi, but Levi does have the contingency vial. They can't stop with that Wisp, and then the Golden Beam on the other side. Ice-T takes down Accolings, and now over the lava, they're trying to hop back as well. But Levi couldn't be brought back up. They've got the Magic Mortar, and they're going to bring up Accolings back in the fight, so 3 little pigs have a better fight against EV, while Levi might be pulled back into the fight once more. Even with the Magic Mortar, it doesn't stop the revive, and then the slam out of TSM as they already were able to get one of EV. It's only the Wadi who is able to get away. TSM have to deal with the 3 little pigs, but they want to make sure they're eliminating a team. They see a lone Kingpin as he tries to get away. Deathbox revive right behind them too. Rift brings back the team, and it's going to be the Wadi who takes the attention. No! RCW, they get the attention instead, and they will be eliminated for their sins.
Yep, and right on the train tracks as well. Looks like Rewind is already up for grabs now. Looks like Shy looking to take it. Yasa does take it right at the end, but the hook, he gets stunned actually out of the hook right at the last second. And Yasa's looking to apply a little bit more pressure whenever possible. The cocktail's been dropped on the floor for a little bit of extra healing. Broken obviously on the Mercury this time. Another red pack for pickup as well that Sproken's just picked up. We're looking at Dracos as well, maybe looking to get some R&B poke onto the Shies.
I think he's also looking to see if he can get
advantage
over
point potentially, of course.
where Fuzu is, because I'm looking at FFD. They don't have Fate Strikes. They are separated. Train tracks in front of them. QTS and ADD lock horns. Choipi alone with no health. Swaps out the armor, immediately blasted down as Courageous and OC15 could not join in quick enough to be able to save their bishop. And looking at other teams, Kuba here, wearing a crown, was on the train tracks, hops on the bullet train, might be able to get the revive in time. But I think wants the fight instead against TSM. There's going to be Wukong versus Wukong, both of them trying to see if they can get away with the 6-monkey strike, but they're looking for the crown, and they've got the rebound to take down Kuba. So the real ones, they collect that prize, eliminating one more team. Well, it almost was a double pull. EV up against Three Little Pigs. The employment victims, not going to be victims just yet. The Three Little Pigs looking for an angle. It's Who Dis that's really looking for that pull, especially against the Wadi, but back over on the Chaos Steps, away from the grass of the Three Little Pigs. Not going to be taken down just yet, but a nice slam from Who Dis, even with the Fusillade. Levi doesn't get that much damage done. Volcanic Crusher, Magic Mortar combination with the Tetraform locks down the employment victims, who eventually become the victims of the Three Little Pigs. And up north, yeah, a huge fight happening. The Shy, the train barely missing purple. But it's Sebi, I think the last one left for ADD as they're trying to escape. Too many teams surrounding him. Hachi sending it in onto the real ones who are on the train tracks. Even if purple is up above them, tries to get away. A lot of damage onto the Shy. Hachi's going to be taken down by Choi because they show up out of nowhere. Gecko holding onto the ground, but they already got the revive. So Stormbreakers will have another fight. And then all this damage onto Yasir. Only Sprokane is left, and there he goes. One more to the bench as we are still seeing all these teams moving around Ion Acres and moving around Site 38.
We just see Little Grief to prevent the back there from Little Meep, and TSM have temporarily lost high ground. The hook does connect against Dipbrek with the wall as well. Actually, kind of gives a little bit of space to get out of this one. The ulti pop. Dipbrek has already got the passive on himself.
But he's got the
revive,
heal.
potentially cookies. Yep, the squid on the south side. Get the hook back as well to guarantee the res.
Nice.
Oh, what a nice escape.
Make sure Stormbreakers are not done just yet, but I'm looking at our teams that are down to only one player. One of them right back there, Dracos. I don't see any other teammates nearby. Three Little Pigs on the train tracks against the Stormbreakers. But it is a bullet train, so you got to be cautious on how you want to position yourself around that. That's why teams are hopping off of it. We still have, 7 teams that are alive this far into the game. Bullet Train, FFD should be back into the game once more, but they have to disembark quickly because the real ones have been holding on to the train tracks right at the edge of the storm. We see TSM beating ADD on the other side. Fuzu going to be the target for the real ones, so they take one already. Phaetrix trying to swap away back with Dracos, but I don't see a good position for them, especially with the bullet trains.
Yeah, there is a crown on the right side that Sebi can potentially go towards. He's actually going for the train stick instead. It's been knocked off by Dracos at the last second. Has to go down to the bottom left-hand side, but, there's so limited space to play in now. Maybe having an E-plat here might be the savior he needs. The zone is pulling to the north side as well. We're looking at Theo popping down a pad, maybe looking to get some information. Who's he going to find is the question. We're looking at Phaetrix chilling in the bush temporarily. He's in and out. But now the hook does connect.
But nobody was there from TSM. Already Singularity is locking him down. Do they have enough damage to be able to burst through the golden armor of Theo? Ooh. They can't get it in time. So Draco's over the abyss. No longer a crown. And the last one remaining doesn't get dunked, but might be saved by the Three Little Pigs who intervene. No, QTS make sure FFD are eliminated. And then Three Little Pigs up against TSM. Dunks everywhere, but nobody dying just yet. They've got the armor to keep them alive, even with the Tetraform putting up the walls. Three Little Pigs have to heal up with the Xenobar concoction. Make sure they're going to be fine, and then we see Sebi hop onto the train. We've seen this before. They have enough time to be able to revive the team, but it's going to be the real ones that are still holding up on the other side while the Stormbreakers beat QTS inside of the engine and look to see if they can push back onto OC15, but that anomaly that you placed down, not safe. You are on train tracks, and you see ADD and the real ones there. Acklink's taking a Magic Mortar, but it's OC15 trying to get a Magic Mortar onto Acklink's as well, who tries to blast away, but it's going to be ADD to grab on to Three Little Pigs. Well, OC15 attacked by TSM, pushed back with the Black Blast, trying to survive. The concoction keeping you healthy, but too many people surround your position, OC15. I don't see an easy way out of this one, especially when you're pulled, dragged into the fight. There goes QTS, another team eliminated. Who dis about to join them as there's nobody there. Pull doesn't help you. Three Little Pigs are out, and we're down to 4.
Man, that happened in literally the blink of an eye. How many teams just died? One straggler left. The hook happens and someone's dead, and then it looks like SB and TSM have their own little mini fight now as well. Mortals are continuously being dropped. by both
Looking
teams.
at
But it looks
80.
like the E-Plat's providing a little bit of space, and they can chill on the top left-hand side of this new circle, potentially.
I'm looking at the real ones and ADD up in the north. ADD down a player. A nice pull. Dragging back in. Make it only one left. Sebi again. The last one for ADD. A really tricky spot to be in as well. Nobody's going to believe that tree isn't you, Sebis. Don't even try it.
Man, they need to make it. They need to make it look so it acts like a pylon or something along those lines as well. When you're in this like kind of technical kind of areas, especially like kind of matching the thematic. It looks like Tier 1 looking to collapse onto Sebi right at the last second. The hook just narrowly misses as well. Pops the RMB, gets a little mini stun at the last second.
Where's the
Has a
crown
little
though,
bit of LMB
Sebi?
tech.
Where's the crown? Nothing's nearby. Has to hop back on the pull and try to get into the storm. But there it is. The crushing blow to ADD as 3 now remain. Nuke barely gonna miss. I think it was Blink who launched that nuke too. Barely missed themselves as they were looking to see if they could get onto the Stormbreakers.
Yep, and it's going to be like one of those kind of gatekeeping scenarios for Tier 1. Unless they've got E-Plats in abundance to kind of make themselves some temporary safe ground. And I guess this also works too. And now they can potentially just walk down, stay on the bonfire temporarily. SB have this their own little mini island on the left-hand side as well. And I guess this kind of left portion as well. So they've got loads of space to maneuver around. They're trying to apply pressure onto TSM. Both sides. Dio tries to get a little dunk. Hook. Oh, he gets the
There's
connection.
a pull, but it's on to Wukong who hops up. And even with the golden beam on both sides, it is going to be the Dragon Slam from Blink. Pushing back the real ones, but guess what? It's the Stormbreakers trying to break open the fight. Another pull missing, both sides not collecting. But now you've got to be careful because here comes the train right behind them. Not going to be able to hit anybody, but the Golden Beam doing a lot of damage and healing back up the Stormbreakers as they hold on to that lone island. So many E-Plats, so many Dragon Slams, but nobody has fallen. Finally, a pull to connect, but it's on to the monkey who hits the 6 monkey strike trying to get away. Back onto the pull. Theo is low, tries to blast back with the rest of the team. It's going to be first one on to Lancelot, then looking to see if they can take down Little Meep. 1 for 1. Only the Stormbreakers have all 3 still remaining as there's going to be the split up fight. Then the train on to Theo with Blink falling to the real ones. As we gotta get our whistle in, the real ones now 2v3. Golden Beam absolutely deletes the Mercury on the real ones with the Dragon Slam from Purple. Trying to revive. That concoction might be able to bring back in Zugzwang, but immediately into the fight because Stormbreakers do not relent. They send the boulders after them and Zugzwang back onto the tracks. But here comes the train. Are you paying attention? Barely avoiding that one. Need to heal back up. Still in this 2v3 fight against the Stormbreakers. Swapping out for the golden armor. They've healed back up some of their health. That salvo doing a lot, and now they've launched down their own damage, but not enough is sticking to the Stormbreakers. Then with the grabby squid jump combo, it's only Purple remaining, and he's taken down by Deprex Golden Beam.
Pretty nice done by SB at the end. It just Cookies is obviously ever clean with the squid dunk, especially on Tetra. Had rewind. They had so much utility. Armor's looking super clean. You know, red perks everywhere. That's an easy win for SB right there.
Whew. Alrighty. Well, game 1. Gotta say, keeping things interesting. As usual, not surprised. A lot of action there. So what are your thoughts on Mercury after this one game?
Oh, the res is one of those like lingering things. It's like, you know, oh, I've just killed someone, and then, you know, you always have to keep in mind that, oh yeah, the passive proc is going to get her to res herself. So yeah, you always have to make sure you get the stomp in, and, you know, if the character's a certain distance away, that's a little bit of a movement that you have to traverse to make sure you get that stomp, or at least, you know, kind of stomp the wisp res.
Right.
And that can actively prevent you from getting a whole team wipe in some certain scenarios, depending on, you know, how much mobility the other 2 team members have. So.
Oh, and then for the next Storm Shift, it is going to be Unstable Portals.
Unstable, awesome.
Perfect. So we'll get...
All right.
If the teams are ready, we can go right into the next game. I'm ready to hop in as quickly as possible, so that way we can get through our first 3, figure out what our Hunter bands are, start adding up some points as well. But yeah, I gotta say, I really do like the shakeup of Mercury in this one with the dunk changes, because... To me, Mercury is one of these hunters that if you don't like actually pick up these kills, if you aren't able to confirm them, then Mercury can reset fights so well and make it so that we're going to see a lot of these teams surviving and actually getting to these end games where we have these full chaotic messes where it's like 6-7 teams still alive and full on brawlhalla where everyone's in these really small circles, and then it just gets really fun.
Exactly. I think the other thing as well that's kind of interesting to note is like, how the mortar utility, well, it used to be a power, of course, back in pre 1.0 and is now kind of integrated into Mercury's kit. If there's going to be some sort of, let's say she did become meta, we don't really know yet because the meta's not kind of settled in this scenario, but let's say she did, how, is it going to be like loads of long range pokes with mortars? Are there going to be like less all-ins and more kind of poke comp style plays? I don't know.
Sorry, my dog started barking.
He's got the opinions.
She was just like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what you're saying, Del? Where'd you go? Whew. Alrighty, so game 1, quite chaotic. Now we're into game 2. It is unstable portals. So we get to see how this circle is, taking us a little bit towards the northwest of the breach. The alt enables all-ins a lot, yeah. That's why I'm surprised we didn't see nearly as much Felix. Because we saw so much Felix over in APAC for that exact reason. The all-ins with Felix, also the anti-heals. It was quite a lot of fun to see those first games. But here, looking at how our teams are still developing this meta around Mercury, still only see one team, BM, the team that got eliminated first in the last game. I mean, the one team that is running that Felix.
Yep. A lot of teams are, very healthily dispersed at the moment. There could be potential action between BM as they're looking to close down, potentially on Akalinks. We've seen this strat, 1,000 times before from 3LP, always trying to get their first dibs onto Coldfang. And they might be able to get away with this one scot-free. Meanwhile, on those armors, Dawn Caps, we're looking at EV just below them, FFD. After they got their little farm up, they're looking to go to the north side and maybe pick up some armors when possible. But EV are going to be there to contest that. So we need to see how that one kind of evolves.
Look at our teams, FFD, EV, kind of nearby. We even see our sub-team here of RCW hanging around. They were possibly looking to see if they can join in, but they're going to just go for the farm while FFD contend against Levi, losing out on the farm game. I'm surprised Levi actually didn't want to look for the full fight there against the level 3s of FFD, but granted, if you end up losing that, then everything goes topsy-turvy for you, and now suddenly FFD, they're the ones with the level leads, and they can easily punish you. So I guess he was just playing the safer game.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is he had no mana as well, so if you tried to do any sort of dash, play styles, you would have been completely and you can't really dance in that scenario. It looks like Orlando's just taking the car down south side now, potentially reuniting with his team, maybe just doing a bit of scouting all around. Looks like QTS are doing some major split farming as well. Look at that.
Yeah, whoo! I mean, they're not going to be punished for it either. They've got Molten Fortress to themselves, even Emotech to themselves. A lot of that they'll be more than happy with, not having any teams that drop nearby. And even if they need to, they can recall over to Emotech. They can be back fully formed pretty quickly.
Yep, looks like Esprit are trying to get some relic buys in when possible. I think they're going to be there pretty much uncontested, which is really, really nice to see. Of course, the other thing is as well, we mentioned it a bit earlier, but the 2 stars obviously now pretty abundant in the game. Or they are just kind of mandatory if you're buying them from the shop, of course. That does make a lot of it kind of changes the variability or like the, who's viable now in the game. So have you seen any kind of shifts in APAC in regards to that kind of, because of the armory and the 2 stars?
And honestly, I think the bigger things that I've seen out of APAC were how teams were approaching this tournament in general. And I don't think are trends that are going to be what we see in normal tournaments. So like for this one,
that's very true.
I think there are certain ones that I'm surprised we're not seeing more of. One of them being here, we see the real ones with Krista for Lancelot. I think that's a big one. A lot of players have said in the past how she really needs, oh god, what's the name of that one relic?
Diadem?
Yeah, she needs the ultimate diadem at level 2, and so now that that's everywhere. We know that that's going to be a lot easier. So I'm surprised we're not seeing nearly as much Krista being played, but I think we're also seeing that some players are still on the strategies they saw before the dunks got changed. We're seeing a lot of Tetra, a lot of Wukong, but I think these are also hunters that are in a good spot regardless of the dunks being taken out. A nice pull though to interrupt, and that Wukong cannot escape.
I mean, it was just a very predictable kind of positioning he had. Once he started stacking the RMB, it's just free pickings for Gecko. So as soon as you saw it, it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to wait till you're kind of locked in animation, and it's a free hook, a free kill.
Well done. get themselves some easy points. The only thing is with this tournament, like in past tournaments I've done for the hunter features, is that if you're able to get those kills for, you know, the specific hunter, in this case being Mercury, they're worth 3 points compared to only 1 point that a regular hunter is worth. So we'll see if teams are able
Sorry
to
to interrupt, gentlemen, but FFD has not picked Mercury.
Oh, yeah, okay. So FFD did not pick Mercury. Ooh. Well, the rules state that if you don't pick the hunter, the punishment is you get no points for the game. That is how it's been in the past, and that's how it will be for this one. So FFD, they are not going to get any points for this game.
That's fair enough. That's how the cookie crumbles. It looks
Yep.
like ADD Pointer already dead. So that's
Ooh.
TSM taking out ADD, last place in this scenario.
Yes.
Oof.
Abyssal hatchlings have spawned.
And so I didn't even realize that with that FFD that they didn't pick any Mercury. So no points will be awarded to FFD in this game, unfortunately, as ADD, even though they do get eliminated early. Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll see how this game is going to roll. As nice golden beam doing a lot of damage to Sprokane, but still, it is Hachi who's trying to get away, blasted right into RCW, and then who dis with a pull. That's not really helping out when there's too many people surrounding your position. RCW gonna benefit from that fight from the other two teams.
Yeah, it is Yasa last alive. Car just ran out of fuel right at the last second, but you know, conveniently ending in Cobra, so he's going to be fine in that scenario. Looks like a res has just been popped as well, getting all members of 3LP back, so that's going to be also really nice to have them back in the game. It was looking quite rough there for a second, but surprisingly, who's in this scenario? RCW didn't look to continue the chase,
So, as we look at FFD, I will say it's also, not only do they not get the placement points for the game, but this game, they don't get any kill points either.
Points.
There we
Exactly,
go.
yeah.
So anything from FFD in this one will not matter.
For sure.
So, now in the heart, RCW, Three Little Pigs. It's going to be the Golden Beam trying to get some damage. Volcanic Crusher in the back line with a nice punt back onto Rift, but Rift holding strong until spin right on top of him to take down a Rift. Magic Mortar will send RCW on the run. Crystal trying to get away, but they got that grabby squid. A nice punch back, but right into the waiting arms, as now it's going to be a slug wave. Looking for Wyan, even with the Volcanic Crusher and the Rock Wave. They're pummeling damage onto RCW. Crystal will fall. Wyan's the last one left. Magic Mortar into the Volcanic Crusher. RCW. Oh, wait.
No
They
way.
might be able to get out of this one. They want Aiden to pick it up. Golden Beam to take him down while we saw that EV eliminated right before them.
You know, he had his eyes set on that on the portal, but it was just unfortunate there. Sprokane now on his last legs as well. Already down. Hachi gets... Oh, he's on 1 HP. How is he down? Oh my god. Yas has been here before, man. Oh.
And how teams are moving around and how things are going for our teams. Early fighting compared to our previous days. So, already seeing 3 teams eliminated. Very surprising compared to what we saw over in APAC and even what we saw in Game 1 here. Right now, Stormbreakers, FFD, staring one another down. But FFD, they are on the run trying to get away.
A meteor beast
Let's have a
has
look at these.
landed.
We've got Combustion, and if I can zoom in enough, it's... let me find it. Auto Repair, there we go. Zooming so far to get that one, but there we go. Oh, looks like 1 pick already, potentially right at the last second. Spotterable just managed to make it away. So it was going to be in Wisp form, but yeah, just get rapidly healed up right at the end. Orlando's has to, you know, was trying to chase onto Aiden right at the last second, gets a nice little E for that little bit of shield, and he's going to be reunited with his team.
3 Little Pigs have been able to get back. They are going to be fine for now, but looking at other teams here in Mana Coils, Mist and TSM, Blink already down and with Abyssal Breaker thrown onto their position. Might be able to revive with the Contingency Vial, but no, they're going to stomp on that Wisp to make sure Wukong will not rejoin the battle. And up north, FFD and Stormbreakers, as Phaestrix tries to swap away. Draco's up on the pull, avoiding the fight against the Stormbreakers, who should be able to revive Gecko outside in the storm and then chase away the remaining 2 of FFD.
Oh, if Cookie's got that extra the squid there, that would have been a dunk for sure, potentially. He was on that like 70% threshold. It would have been like a 50-50, you know, but you can't necessarily see the percentages there, but he was likely dead. And we're looking at the meteor soul on super low HP. Who's going to get that ever important last hit? It looks like Shy. You steal it right at the end.
Oh,
Nice
okay. Nice pickup for the Shy. Barely snatching that away from this. And then up in the northern part of Manicoils, TSM, QTS, because Grage is already there, and the real ones. But the real ones are trying to peel back towards Chaos Steps. And then Joypy on their position. Even if Purple's up in the air, it's going to be OC-15 launching the mortar. Missing that one, but still, they've kind of corralled the real ones right around the unstable portal. Missile Breaker not going to connect. Purple still up in the air. Nice Dragon Slam, getting a little bit of damage on OC-15. Same with the Magic Mortar, doing a lot of damage, but they're trying to get the Golden Beam. But guess what? Miss. They've been here this entire time waiting. They arrive right onto QTS, OC-15, and then even getting the pick onto Oath on the other side. But there's going to be another spike. Spike for spike everywhere. But OC-15 bobbling around. Nobody there to save you. You only have one teammate left in TSM. They're trying to play it up against the real ones, but Theo took way too much damage and has to get back with the rest of the team. Magic Mortar almost found its target.
I think it's one of those things as well. Someone might be just healing, you know, thinking everything's safe, and then that mortar just comes down from the sky. And because obviously it's like double damage, you know, you might get chunked. You've got to be quite careful in those scenarios. As well, at the same time, looks like Chobi's been caught out. SP Deathbreak setting in with the ulti. Gecko looking to get some sort of squid. Chobi setting in with the punch with the ulti.
Wait, one! He got one! And the Tetraform for SP to make sure they won't lose any more. But Choipi, the last one for QTS, still finding a way out of it.
Oh my god. And how are the reses looking? He's not got many options, to be honest. He's got the one, you know, kind of with the... I guess he's got Hot potentially, but, you know, you've probably just saw the scan go off by MST.
He's got to wait for the train, right? I think that's the call. Yeah. He's waiting for the train. That's a safe call. It's unstable portals. Don't have to worry about that. But there's going to be the damage, as there is going to be a push back. Fate strikes down. Only Fuzu left. As the real ones don't even lose Lancelot, but Stormbreakers, they lose a lot up against the three little pigs right outside of Heart.
Yep, and things are looking to potentially have cooled down at the minute. And as you mentioned, once that train does arrive in that new circle, Choipi's going to be jumping on top of it. But there are potentially 3 different teams that are also looking for that train race. So I think there's going to be, you know, of course, Choipi's got the kind of first dibs on it. So if he can get the team up in time before the other teams kind of get there, he should hopefully be able to get it off scot-free. But this is going to be the ever-important res, I reckon, for these 3 teams.
Cookies. Okay, Cookies kind of realizing that one. Doesn't even attempt. He's like, yeah, it's going to be way too late. I can't punch him off of it. So I have to let that go as 3 little pigs and miss 200. Golden Beam trying to heal up, but denying that ultimate as they take down the Mercury. And then Fuzu playing up against 3 little pigs. Instead, we'll dash back onto the track. Well, 3 little pigs have to get away, and then we go down to Manicoils, and we see that Cookies surrounded, taken out by TSM.
Yep, and I think Shy may have heard this noise, so they know that a team kill just happened. Shy aren't looking too strong on armors either. TSM maybe, you know, just assessing the kind of threat potentially. We're just seeing Sprokin trying to get some poke off with the Immortal, but now has to dash back. They find their little pocket of space, hopefully. And aside from that, things are looking still calm again, but I think... maybe for this Ivan Morius, we might see a couple of teams rotating towards that.
I'm thinking so
first dibs, of course, though. Yep.
BM, our team that got eliminated first in game 1, this time playing a lot calmer. As Fuzu spotted out by the real ones. Throwing out the salvo, trying to get back over the abyss. The real one's kind of looking for it, but running right over to the Shy, who punch him away from the portals. FFD, our team without a Mercury, now are deleted, so no longer have to worry about that.
Yep. I keep feeling as well like TSM definitely eyeing up Shy, but you know, persistently they're trying to, you know, make sure they have territory control of these mobs, the kind of last mobs that you can pretty much pick up in this scenario. So getting any last you know, bits of XP is definitely going to be important, especially if you're underleveled or you want an extra couple of levels potentially in this scenario. It looks like Soul Stealer pick up for Blink. He's probably had that one for a while.
Yeah.
And Upper Cutlass as well. And I know that there was a hotfix recently too, right, in regards to reses and Upper Cutlass as well.
I saw the hotfix, but I'll be honest, I've been so focused on making sure this event can go through that I haven't even looked at the numbers. But here we go on the tracks. The real ones fight against the 3 little pigs. Golden Beam trying to heal up Kingpin will allow Hudis to get back with the team. But missed. They've heard the fighting. They've joined in, and they were looking for the flank, but already 3 LP are out of there. They've got their E-plat, and they don't want to fight just yet.
Yep, and the tier 1 desperately need to find some like clean kind of safe space to play on, but Kowski's try and take over the dominion over this mini island, so they're gonna have to stay on these train tracks. They've got the small south island if they want to play on that out. It looks like Lance has already dashed down to that one, but 3LP are potentially looking to pounce as well themselves should they find an opportunity.
Still a lot of teams here in the end game. It seemed like a lot of teams got eliminated early, yet at the same time we have so many teams surviving until the end. Looking at how teams are kind of positioned, I don't know what happened over here to Acklings, but Acklings...
That was probably an E-plat spike, I'm reckoning.
Oh, we accidentally got spiked by their own E-plat.
Exactly, yeah.
Ooh, bit brutal, but they have enough time. They're going to be able to get back up. And now with, what, 7 teams still remaining here. All the teams slowly getting corralled into these fights, trying to get the mortars to land on one another.
Oh, this is one of those difficult ones as well. Oh, decently, nicely chunked RMV there.
But
looking at Lance as well, going CCT mode, trying to find a bit of information whenever possible. But QTS, oh, this is going to be the engagement.
Okay, and now it's going to be the pushback as QTS try to get away from this. It is going to be the nuke. And now they don't really have a good way out of this when they put down the Penguin, but how do you escape? They've already gotten Choipy and then Courageous, the last one remaining, as he tries to get something back onto BM, but BM not going to make it any easier for him. Launching mortar after mortar, and then the spike, and there goes QTS.
Oh my god, and Tier 1 Shy, they're having their little mini engagement themselves now. What's Zug's going on in this scenario? It's got a massive mini, of course. And as we said before, the mortars are going to become ever more important, getting that important chip damage to kind of start a fight off, as we just saw with QTS, and now it might be happening with Tier 1 and Shy. On the top side, TSN, they've got their own little pick. This team's on to Zugswang right at the last second, so Tier 1 going to be looking for res opportunities now. Hopefully they've got enough money. They're pretty rich, so they can maybe get a crown pickup if there is a shop nearby.
As now Shy take the golden beam, as it's going to be Hachi. Loses their life nowhere near the rest of the Shy because they took the portal in order to escape. They're going to be on the northern part. We see a couple of our teams that are going to be down a player here or there. The real ones, the Shy, not in the best of positions, but everyone else kind of slowly moving it and closer together. I'm seeing which teams have better tracks on the circle right now. Miss 200, really good placement on their base camp. With the rings, they can easily keep in mind where teams are. And so,
yep.
I am curious to see how a lot of this is going to go.
Yep, exactly. We're looking at the res as well. That was nice, successfully performed. They had to buy that one. And it looks like Meep is caught on his last legs, trying to get the res off with the passive. Never mind, the Wisp falls down to the Abyss. And maybe another spike counter Theora. It's just Blink last alive. The E-plats are going to become, ever more important here as the amount of safe space to play in is limited. BM are now looking to circle onto Blink to try and get that final kill. And they've got the pull-in. He has to ult out, go onto the north side potentially, circle around to the wind rings, play on that one infinitely for now. It looks like there's been a spike as well. And through this is already dead. Two members of 3LP last alive now.
The Shy were taken out as well. Now it's going to be 3LP still on the tracks. The real ones look for Aiden Golden Beam to get rid of Mercury, who's trying to heal up with the Cinnabar Concoction, but they stop on the Wisp to make sure that cannot happen. Acklings still alive and looking for that angle. The real ones, they decide to fight against Miss 200, which gives Acklings a way back into the circle. But BM, they notice this Tetra alone, and they're looking to make sure Acklings can't get there, even with the Tetra form. Now the real ones trying to clean up what they had started, making sure there's no way back in, and there goes Acklings, but then Miss 200 from the north, they're onto the real ones. They've already gotten Lancelot, and even with the Dragon Slam, Calcinator looks to take down Zugswing, who's healing up with the Cinnabar Concoction. They pushed him back, as it's going to be the chase onto the real ones who try to get all the way around. Miss 200 getting a little bit of attention from BM, even with all the spin dashes and the spins to win. Nobody has fallen just yet. Still somehow Miss 200 keep everyone alive. They're trying to heal up a nuke after nuke. Then Cask with the golden beam chasing down the real ones, but Zug has gotten that Cinnabar Concoction to try to heal back up. Should be back on their feet for another fight, but they have to see where they want to position themselves around Miss 200, around BM, and they'll look right behind them. Blink has been a tree this whole time. Crown picked up by Purple, and they are looking to see if they can take him down, but maybe Blink can pull off a miracle for TSM. Zugswing's the first one. Purple with the slam looks to see if they can get the cooldown back for the team, but they have to be cautious on how they're going to approach this one. Over to the rings with a minute left on the cooldown. They have to survive, but it's going to be BM and Mist both looking for it with the pull slam. Gooba is down. Mist are gone. Purple and Blink. They don't realize that Blink is still here. Nice slam back onto Spider Brawl, but you're out in the storm here. And I don't see an easy way. Golden Beam to make sure Purple is not back in this one. It's only Blink left.
They're just going to have to find him. This is like a prop hunt we've seen many times before if you've ever played any Source games, of course. And he's eventually been found out by that Mortar. Tries to dash up onto the north side. There is a crown in zone, but that's I don't think that's going to be possible to grab in this instance. He's got no armor left. BM looking super stacked here. Looks like it's like to be for Blink, unless he does some insane Abyss plays.
What can he do? Like, I'm looking there. There's a crown up north. Can he get to the crown in time? He's trying to, but with the Sky Shark about to blast off and no health left, he's picked up the crown, only to fall to the Kings of the Breach. BM from last place to first.
Very, very nicely done. Oh my god, we've just seen 4 red packs as well. Spider Brawl ending up, super sourced up right at the end. Really good stuff.
And then to answer, so Fate Strikes was saying that they didn't hear about the rules. I did answer in the Discord as well, guys, that you have to play Mercury. It's a Mercury event, and this has been the rule every single time we've done the event. Sorry to have to put the law down for this one, but yes, I should have been a little bit more clear, but I think there was also a problem that there were some people asking about that one and putting out rumors that wasn't true, that you didn't have to play Mercury. You have to. So I apologize if that was not clear enough. It's just one game, guys, and this is for fun. It's like, if there's prize money on the line, like if I had money to be able to give out, I'm still working on trying to see if I can do that. If that was the case, I would have probably just restarted the game, so that way we can, no one has to worry about competitive integrity and all that. But these are for fun, guys. So we're here to have fun.
Yep, and I think Game 3 is bombing runs, if I'm not mistaken, yeah?
Yes, it is. Also, thank you so much to Sick Mode Vibes. They're a Japanese Super Vive player that I actually rated earlier after the APAC event. And then, and then we have Mr. Bahing A coming in with the 10, it was 5 gifted subs. Absolutely legendary. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you coming in. But I do hear for the community trying to do a lot of these events. I would love to do an event like this for the Japanese players if we can get enough for them for the future. But
yeah, that'd be great.
I appreciate it. Also, Take Pio, thank you so much saying, oh, Eminem, nice commentary. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you enjoy the cast. I'm joined in by Samiri, who's helping me out with the commentary. We also have Alario behind the scenes doing all. We will go through after this game. So we have this third game. And then we're going to add up some of the points so we can see where our players stand, and then also figure out what our 3 Hunter bands are going to go into our next 3 games after that.
Oh, it's going to be wicked, man. And I guess, have you had a chance to play with Mercury like that much?
Not at all.
Like,
not
one
not bit.
At all, man.
I literally, that's the thing that sucks whenever they have the patches, because I work during the week. And my work schedule very much sucks. That's why I appreciate any subs, donations, all that stuff. It helps me do this more and more so that I can try to give more to the community. But during the week, if anything happens, I literally have no time. Even like today would be my time to be able to play, but I'm doing this instead. So I want to be able to do this for the community as opposed to anything else.
Wicked stuff, wicked stuff. Yeah, I noticed some kind of, not necessarily quirks, but just kind of aspects of her design that it feels like they're kind of trying to control the space that she's in a very specific manner. Like there's a specific interaction where you kind of charge up your LMB, of course. You've probably seen it, and then you kind of get like an extra bit of dash momentum per 3 charges. So I feel like one of the kind of limitations that they tried to design into her character was that you can't really dash in, get the extra momentum, and then ult. So you kind of have to use that in a kind of defensive manner pretty much all the time. You can never use it to kind of dash in with the extra momentum and then ult. I feel like it's quite an important thing to note, or quite an important thing to, I guess, discuss with her design and future designs going forward for new heroes. What sort of kind of implicit design limitations they kind of come up with.
Honestly, I kind of like when they have more of these limitations to hunters and make it so that they are more in these roles where they're going to be more support. But Dracos with a nice Dragon Slam there. Getting a lot of damage into the back line. Pull lands onto Fuzu as he tries to swap away, but what a swap from Fate Strikes, trying to keep the team alive, but still, despite it all, it's EV winning the fight. Dracos on the run, trying to hop from tree to tree. Might be able to get to the anomaly to get out of this one, but the hunt is there. Levi can't get the anomaly out of there. So FFD, they will survive, but just barely.
I mean, it's like being like, he's saying like, I'm gonna be like the sacrificial goat, and it's like a tsunami heading your way, and the water's just gonna surround everyone. You know, he sacrificed himself, and then you know the Fuzu died shortly afterwards anyway.
Yeah, it was a great attempt, absolutely legendary attempt there from Fate Strikes that nearly worked. Had that actually worked too, one of those highlight void moments, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But sadly, can't always have the highlight moments, but regardless of it, FFD are alive. They got down to the machine. They'll revive. Have another way to fight out this game.
Yep, and we are seeing some major split farming again, this time 3LP. You know, they always do it. So Shroomer's going to be the, you know, the guy going out, doing those dangerous missions alone. Meanwhile, 3LP, the other two members are getting their farm in.
Storm closing.
In Cold Fang, getting the money up. Looks like RCW, they've got their relic purchases in as well, and TSM are looking to do the same, but they've been warded off right at the last second. Trying to blow up the car to kind of force them away. The train is going down slowly. It's exploded. They're going to be fine, though.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I thought for a second maybe RCW could have looked for a fight against TSM, but I don't think they realized that they didn't have the full-formed team of TSM. They had been split by the train. Had they realized that, maybe they could have looked for the fight, but looking at the machine, EV, they might not have been able to actually pick up the team wipe early, but they do push all the way down the machine on to FFD, and Fuzu couldn't get above the wall, pulled back in. FFD gonna have to leave the Mercury and try to get out of the machine alive.
And it makes you wonder, you know, we have portals in the game with their character like Saros, of course, but, you know, are there going to be other sorts of, like, terrain manipulating characters? You know, maybe they can break through mountains, like, actually make new terrain, or, you know, in that sort of way. You know, for example, with this mountain. It'd be interesting to see, you know, what sort of things they can do with the sandbox. You know, it could potentially break design, of course, but it'd be interesting to see what can be developed. Oh, nice punch by Choipy!
And on to Orlando's, and then taking him into the spike wall, so they already get that kill confirmed. Stomping on the Wisp. So BM are winners of last game, now going to be separated early here in Game 3. It would be kind of wild to see them go from a last place finish in Game 1, first place finish in Game 2, then last place finish in Game 3.
They're just on the top or on the bottom, just complete coin flip, and QTS now looking to apply load of pressure on TFIR on RCW. The car pickup, hopefully at the last second can be enough.
Golden Beam doing a lot, but the crash out of nowhere is still Rift falling as they put down the Cinnabar concoction to make sure that, wait a minute, it's Ryan doing a lot of damage, taking 2, and Spider Brawl is the one out of nowhere. This Shiv for RCW, Tree Prison trying to give Spider Brawl the elevation to fight up against this Shiv, but Ryan, you already did enough. While you're surrounded by BM, they are ultimately going to BM this one because they did not let you have your honorable duel to beat out the team. Your team will live off the back of your heroics, but you do ultimately fall.
Look at how many goodies are dropping on the map. We've got a nuke, of course, Soul Stealer, and I believe I saw another goodie somewhere. I've forgotten. I got Goldfish Memory, it seems. But we're going to definitely see a couple of teams converging onto those. Oh yeah, of course there is. It's a Celerity. There we go.
And so FFD on that position, but it is going to be TSM on the other side. FFD, despite the fact they've had a pretty difficult early game, have gotten themselves some blue armors, Fate Strike Dracos. Dracos on top of that tree, perched and ready. Trying to get some information onto TSM. 50% onto the missile hatchling. They are waiting. Both teams don't want to fight this one too early. Nice pull from Theo. Drags TSM and the hatchling all the way over there. They are over the abyss, and they've got to be cautious on how they approach. Unstable anomaly? Was that? Oh, who secured that one?
Yeah, Meep took it. You
Oh,
can see, he's got
yeah. There it is. So
I believe so, at least, unless it was yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, I think Meep got it as well. So barely steal that away. Get that for themselves, and TSM are out of there while we look at ADD. Ooh. A nice spike. They almost got Crystal, but Crystal avoiding the attention. It's funny you mentioned Saros, and we do actually get a Saros played this time around by ADD.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the dunk doesn't get any connection, and it is returned. I don't think that anything's going to happen there between these two teams. They both go their own separate ways, it seems. At the same time, we're looking at Hot, TSM. Almost not looking too healthy, but MST are probably even in a worse scenario, in fact. Kalsk only with 1 relic as well.
Yeah, we have quite a few of our teams in these awkward spots right now where some of their players are doing fine, but because there have been these picks here and there, no actual team wipes, not all teams having all their relics. And right now, as you mentioned, Mist, they can't even get to that outpost because that's ADD already buying up their relics. Possible fight here in Mana Coil brewing between FFD and 3LP. Speaking of teams without relics, FFD have not been able to get to an outpost any time in this game. They've been chased throughout the breach. They're literally just trying to survive, and then Shroom gets pushed back over to the Shy, but it already with the Fusillade, and now Shroom down. It's 3LP on the run. Shy could chase onto them and onto the respawn beacon. Volcanic Crusher trying to keep them away with the Golden Beam, healing back up Aiden. They have that revive, but they are pushed away, unable to secure themselves the revive onto Shroom. 3LP are chased off of the breach into the abyss. And thankfully, they had that Tetraform that gave them enough distance, while FFD might be able to flank onto the Shy, but instead are going to hold themselves into the Mana Coil, might even be able to get into the outpost to finally buy those relics.
Yep, and Aiden is now last alive for 3OP. Akalinx did die in that scenario right at the end by Yas's hands. And I think another couple of members, Kuba died as well, in fact. So they did get the relic purchases in, but they actually, died for it. So I think Kalsk is waiting to try and get a hot res off if possible. If he doesn't get found out by ADD, does manage to scoot up to the north-hand side, but I don't think he's going to have much mobility to continue this evasion as ADD continues to chase. He's got the ulti down, but gets stunned. So much damage coming his way.
Revive on the train. Kask was able to get Kuba back into the game, and now with the Golden Beam doing a lot of damage, but it's a trade back and forth with the slam from the Dragon Slam. Kask into the jet stream, and here comes Kalskinator with Kuba chasing down ADD. Sebi has been split away looking for the Mercury that whole time, but your whole team has fallen, and now Kalskinator can join in to try to save Kask's life, forcing out the 6 Monkey Strike with a Dragon Slam on Oath with a broken shield. But guess what? Kuba is here as well. The ADD, they had the fight initially, but they fall to the might of Mist.
We're looking at a Corrosion as well, up for grabs, as well as another auto repair. How many auto repairs are we seeing? It's insanity, but a Bomber Run looks to be separating EV and SP as well in Iron Acres in this scenario. Meanwhile, just above it, 3 teams potentially converging. Tier 1 might be in a bit of trouble here.
Bombing Run 2 right at their back, so they got to be careful. Crystal launching the blast off at them. Getting some damage as, I don't know what happened with Discord, but Discord got really buggy there for me.
I hope it's okay. I'll take over in this scenario. Looks like Yas has popped the Fusillade right at the last second. Shield broken. A nice punch by Hachi, but doesn't get a stun. And Choip is now trying to fend for his life if possible. Nice Abyssal Breaker at the last second. Hachi on super low HP, but the beam is coming in. OC doing so much work.
Choipy interrupting the Golden Beam, making sure they can chase down Shy and send them in 2 different directions. They stomp the Wisp Hachi, and then they keep themselves grouped up as we go back over to Ion Acres and back over to our hatchling. Looking to see how teams are playing. Stormbreakers beat EV initially, sending the lone Mercury off to run away, while Mist 200, they crack into the fortress and are pushing onto SB, but guess what? They have to deal with BM right down to the south as well. So many teams are wrestling for control, and it looks like, I think Orlando's has secured that for BM, and now they push back onto the Stormbreakers, but Mist, they've been here this entire time. They interrupt the Stormbreaker, they take down Ash, Fighter Brawl, and Orlando's need to take the Anomaly to safety. They have to leave their lone teammate of Ash to die.
Yep, and as that boss zone expands, it does force all the teams to kind of go their own separate ways, as you mentioned. So that does provide a necessary bit of breathing room, especially as BM have lost Ash. They definitely need to be looking for res when possible, and res opportunities are looking relatively slim at the same time. Shroom is already found down. Aiden now last alive again.
Yeah, 3LP are struggling right now as Aiden trying to go for the back blast to get away. But still looking at all our teams and another soul here to fight over. Cookies did die off screen, taken down by Mist 200, but the teams are wrestling for the Meteor Beast. The real ones, the Shies, even seeing there's another team down south that can intervene. Maybe TSM want to be a part of this one, same with EV, but they're waiting until the last possible minute. Theo could go fishing to try to steal that away, pulling it very far away, securing control for TSM.
weapon. That's going to be the kind of infinite power boon that KP can provide. If he gets nerfed because of dunking, the hook is still going to provide that infinite value, especially
Very
on
true.
souls. And it looks like Purple's getting a massive dunk onto Levi.
Huge dunk. Shiv down. Wody trying to get away with Mr. Ice-T as they both go separate directions. They don't have very much room to work with either. Shy, they've been slowly pushing back as well, trying to see if they can take advantage of the EVTR1 fight, but aren't going to be able to get much for it. A lot of teams still alive. I think there's only been one team that's been eliminated so far, and we are going into night 4. Sprokane gonna feel the pressure of being surrounded. It is a crowded breach here and a small circle to play with.
Yep. Oh. And Yas is trying to fly for as long as possible, and he's going to be in combustion state now. It's going to be quite dangerous for him. I think he's even plopped an E-plat just to guarantee that he can survive in this scenario. Hachi did make his way down on the south side. I think he's healed up a bit already. Yep, already healed back to full. Trying to reunite with Yasuo when possible. Hachi has found Wood as well.
Launching for the fight, forcing out the golden beam. Now that's down for the real ones, but TSM I don't think realize they have that position they can play with. They look for the Dragon Slam, and we do see that Aiden and 3LP, the first casualty in this slim circle. But so many teams down to only one player, one of them being, yes sir, actually no, they still have Hachi down south, but Hachi is getting surrounded, and now they're pushing back onto Yes Sir. There goes Hachi, it's only Yes Sir left. The salvo not taken down, Yes Sir. Still the jet stream, might have another E-plat in the inventory. But it is risky. Just trying to see. Oh, yeah, he will fall. It's Lancelot that gets the kill credit while Mr. Ice-T sent over the edge, chased by Miss 200. Tries to use any Spitfire back for the team, but it's going to be a pistol breaker. And there goes EV's hopes as well. 3 teams gone. Any more to join them as the Golden Beam with the Dragon Slaying combo doing a lot of damage to Miss 200. And with the real ones holding on to the Abyss play, they're looking for the Dragon Slam onto 2. Kuba will take one with them. Tries to survive, hopping onto the box and then hopping away, putting the real ones in a bad spot to face off against TSM, who've been slowly finding that momentum to take down team after team. While Kuba cannot find any salvation. Blast Up will miss, but RCW helped out to make sure that Miss 200 are gone, and then launching Crystal at the real one. Zug Swag tries to heal back up, and now TSM, they push onto CRW, getting some damage onto Rift, and then onto Crystal, who sent over the Abyss and into the Storm, and with another team gone, we are down to 7. No, 6.
And just after that, BM just got the res on the train. It looks like there was a team patient waiting. In this case, it was SB. They're looking super armored up. They're just getting some mob bombs in when possible, trying to get a bit of money in case they can buy a crown or something along those lines. Let's have a quick look at their economy. Oof, they're not doing too well. They've got a couple of buys in right at the last second, maybe some pots or things of that nature, maybe some armor repairs. QTS on the top side, fully armored up. It got their own little mini kind of island. Well, it's a massive piece of land, in fact.
Yeah.
They're going to be okay in this scenario. They can make their way down. There's loads of space to play in with only 5 teams left.
Deathbox revive interrupted by the mortar. QTS not going to give BM an easy way back into this game, so that's why they pick up a crown for Spider Brawl. Wukong going to be great with that, but have to utilize that Abyss. And looking at how the circle is, Site 38 is where it's honed in onto. So not going to be much Abyss to play for.
Yeah, 100%. And on the south side, FFD can just play super chill on the south side. There's basically going to be no one interrupting them. In fact, TSM are obviously watching the streams. They just heard us, and they're gonna peer down on the south side.
Yeah.
See who's there now, I think.
And kind of looking at FFD, they've had a difficult game 3 here, constantly fighting from moment 1. Yet they have been able to survive and make it all the way here to the top 5, and are actually in a fairly decent position now. They've got their relics, they've got their items, they've got their armor. We're just looking at the other teams that are now struggling. One of them being BM and Orlando's, as they've been pushed into the Abyss. Flight of the Firefox used by Orlando's to try to get back. And
No, can he make it?
Spider Brawl, yes, barely. Orlando's gets there, but guess what? Pushed back by Dracos and FFD. Hover Wings as they interrupt that to pick up a crown. The Hover Wings does not save Fate Strikes nor FFD. It just gives the Bastard München a way back into the game. There's a blast off from Toypi. Another slam. It's Dracos this time with the help of Toypi to take down BM. Throwing down the Golden Beam on each side. A lot of damage on Fuzu. Barely alive. And now QTS on to BM, who are over the Abyss themselves. Hoping that those rings give them enough glider heat to get onto land.
And that, the boss zone has finally collapsed, so it looks like SB have a lot of territory to play in. Looking at Gecko with Blinkstone as well. That's going to be extra instrumental potentially in his last fights. It looks like BM are just going to be chilling. They got the win ring maybe in zone potentially that they can play on. Let me see. Not really, actually.
Not
It's going to be quite
really,
difficult for them to stay in this scenario.
Yeah, there's rings down south, but those are already guarded by QTS. Ash has the jet stream to try to get away. It's going to be Golden Beam for Golden Beam, but Spider Brawl's already been taken down. And now with the Mega Avalanche and Crown combo, FFD, they're back in the game. And BM are out while we see that Courageous should be stomped down by SB. Grabby missing. Not going to be able to get that with the Volcanic Crusher for Cookies. But Toypee will grab a crown immediately and look to see if they can fight against SB. FFD here in the fight. They're starting to migrate down south for the winter. Already up on the pole. Singularity attempted and taken an easy kill on OC-15. It's only Toypee for QTS left. As Drake goes, same with SB. They look to interrupt that one, trying to get away with the satchel. The grabby into the Volcanic Crusher. It's not enough. Toypee had enough health to be able to survive, but blasting him and pelting him with those rocks. QTS are gone. Our top 3 remain.
And it's just like it's like one of those magicians where they're trying to catch a knife or something or a sword between their teeth or something. You just see Cookies with the immaculate reaction times there. Manages to find that squid right at the last second.
Yeah, beautiful.
Even through a Bishop ulti. Really good stuff to see.
Following him all the way to the end, even if there is no dunk. He got all that damage on to Toypee, and Toypee had used everything to already escape. So now for SB, for FFD, and for TSM, in this 3-way standoff, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is going to be FFD trying to start it off, but immediately dunked and taken out the Monkey. Monkey down, Swap on the other side as they put down the Tetraform to drag back in. Drake goes into the fight, and it's going to be only Fate Strikes left. FFD losing Fuzu and Dracos, while TSM trying to stomp on the Wisp to make sure there's no revive for FFD. They're still positioned aggressively against SB. Fate Strikes picking up a crown. And you're hoping for a miracle, getting a little bit of damage while TSM's focus is on SB this entire time. They know they can't peel back, especially when there's going to be the pull on the Little Meat, but there's going to be the engage as they try to get some damage. Tetraform with all these rocks. Now, Fate, where's the Singularity? Landing it on the Little Meep. You need the kill first. There's FFD back in the game. But now they got to escape. It's going to be one taken down already. Fuzu is down. Dracos is alive. Blink getting away. But it's going to be the chase down with the revive on the Little Meep. Another Dragon Slam. But Fate Strikes as you had brought back up Dracos. You still have to have another crown play to work. SB are still positioned against TSM. We're over the abyss. They try to peel back to make sure Dracos could not revive Fuzu. And getting some damage. No pull to connect. Fate Strikes with another crown, but you gotta get away. The Swap's not in time, and Fate Strike is gone. SPF been able to take him away, but Deperek taking a lot of damage from the Golden Beam out of Little Meep, but still alive. Magic Mortar connecting onto Deperek. Crown picked up by Cookies, trying to blast him into the bombing run. He's got enough time to be able to get away, but TSM, they've been able to reform, and guess who also has reformed? FFD. How many lives do they have? They see the crown out of Cookies, putting down the rock wave, but it's your own tomb that you have brought here, Cookies. How do you escape from this one? With the crown, Grabby Squid missing, swapping back over the lava, trying to pelt down some of the boulders on a Fuzu, but a slam from Fate Strikes, and FFD will take him down. 2 teams remain. Fuzu is out of there. Singularity has connected, bursting through the health bars, but still surviving. Little Meep and the rest of TSM are alive. Theo looking for the pull with a 6 monkey strike on a Fate Strike, trying to see if they can chase him down, but Draco's going to be the real target, leaving only Void for FFD, up against 3 out of TSM. Swap above them, but can you pick up a crown in time? No way, Jose. TSM win game 3.
That was a super duper clean done by them. And FFD, this lasted forever and ever and ever. We did see Fate Strikes picking up some binoculars, scouting from the high ground, biding his time, and then went in for that pounce, just before that when he got the crown, the first crown res off. That was very, very cleanly done. They managed to get the escape. Then they got the res on the north side as well, just afterwards. They lasted forever.
They did. Woo! What a wild fight there. Just back and forth for our teams. But TSM, they're the team that come out victorious in game 3, and now, as we are going to get ready for game 4, we are also going to start adding up a lot of our points. See how the scores are looking, as well as which teams we are going to start. Not which teams, which hunters are going to be eliminated.
Yeah. I mean, what's your kind of prediction so far? We've not been calculating it in our heads, maybe, but maybe just from a quick guess from these games, what do you think it's been?
I mean, Wukong obviously is going to be the number one. Like,
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts, but teams in first. I mean, honestly, because we had a team like BM lose the first game, but then win the second. Like, I mean, by lose, I mean be the first team eliminated in game one, then win game two. It can be. It's going to be tricky. Oh man, we got another. I didn't expect this again. Another tie in Hunters. Oh. This one we're gonna put to the players. So I'm gonna show this on screen, and this one is gonna be up to the players. So we'll go at the bottom and we'll work our way up. So we had our hunters that have yet to get played: Luna, Eva, Bebo. I went to the wrong one. Luna, Evo, Bebo, Celeste, Hudson, Zeph, Shrike, Carbine, Ghost, Jin, and Jewel. Oh, and Brawl. All of them have yet to be played even once. But then working our way up, we have Myth only with 1 game, Felix only with 3, Saurus 3, Void 3, Krista 4, Oath 6, Tetra 6. But this is where it gets awkward. We have a tie. Bishop and Shiv are tied in 3rd place at 9. Then Kingpin, right above them at 11, gonna join Wukong on the bench for sure. But this is where I'll ask the players: do we ban 2 hunters, both Bishop and Shiv, or do we do a coin flip to decide if it's Bishop or Shiv? So that's where it gets awkward. Like I said, that's where it gets awkward. So it's up to the players. Do they want to risk a coin flip, or do they just want to ban both?
Would you like to ask that in the party chat, by the way? Or?
Yes.
Sure. Is Shiv Bishop or Shiv, right?
So ask them, do they want to ban both Bishop and Shiv or coin flip? That's the thing.
Or ban both, yeah?
Yeah, or ban both. Yep. So this is where I let APAC do the same thing. They got to choose whether they wanted to ban both or if they wanted to have coin flip. They opted for both. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of ban boths. All right.
All right. I don't know if that's enough players. It's only 4, but is that conclusive for you?
If no one else is saying anything quick enough, then that is going to be conclusive for me.
Sure. Okay. So let me just get that in there. So it's going to be Wukong, Kingpin, Bishop, and Shiv. Yeah.
It will be the 4 bans. So we will have 4 of them banned. Also, I did see that Jake Braun with a follow. I thought you were following already, but I know that's why I thought he was already following. Let's go, yeah. So our 4 bans will be, as I go back, it'll be Wukong, Kingpin, Bishop, and Shiv. So all 4 of them are going to be banned.
Yep. There we go. All right, it's in there.
And then now let me get the points up for the stream too. So we'll look at the points so everyone can see how we are looking going into game 4. So in last place right now, it is going to be RCW, 11 points. They have yet to get any Mercury kills, but they have gotten 5 kill points at least. Then right above them, actually tied in 10th, is going to be EV and ADD, both at 16 points and both at 1 Mercury kill. Just so you know, Mercury kills do decide tiebreakers. So that is going to be that will be a tiebreaker, and then if there's still a tie after that, then it's highest placement that then decides it.
Got you.
And then 9th place will be the Shy at 21 points, 1 Mercury kill. F50, 28 points with 0 Mercury kills. And keep in mind, that's also with them having 0 points in game 2. They're doing very well for themselves. Miss 200, 7th place with 35 points and 3 Mercury kills. QTS, 42 points, 5 Mercury kills. And then up above them, BM at 54 points with 5 Mercury kills. 3 LP, 1 point ahead of BM at 55 points, but they have 10 Mercury kills. That's really elevating their points right there. That's 30 points they get just from Mercury kills. TR1, the real ones, at 60 points in 3rd place with 5 Mercury kills. SB, 2nd place at 28 kills and 4 Mercury kills, but TSM, by and large, well ahead of everyone. 93 points, 8 Mercury kills. Looking really solid right now.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just trying to steer the ship on like 5 different ships. Feels like
it is
at the same time simultaneously.
So,
I guess you're in the same situation, of course.
Yeah. So
Man.
we're gonna take a. We'll just tell them just while we're doing this, it's gonna be a 2-minute break because I need to use the bathroom. So I'll be right back.
Sure, no worries. Oh man. Alrighty then. So I guess this is of course, when Magical sets up these tournaments, it does make it it allows the players to really fully experience this new character. I know it's kind of potentially in a forced scenario in some in some cases, but it does allow players to give that character a fair shot when it does get released, because sometimes we see, if the character's already niche, a lot of people don't initially adapt to that character. So this maybe accelerates that that kind of period up a bit, and kind of hopefully highlights the potential this new character does have. If it's in a couple of scenarios, in a variety, where her strengths lie, where her weaknesses lie, hopefully that can fully be found out and discovered with these types of tournaments. So it's really good to see that that's coming to fruition, of course. I think while we're waiting as well, if anyone else needs to grab a snack, grab a drink, now's the opportune time, because there'll be 3 more games shortly afterwards, and they're definitely going to be upping in intensity continuously.
There we go. I'm back.
All right, awesome. All right, I think
All right.
we are ready to go then.
So for this one,
So
it
that's
is
good.
Twisters. Yep, perfect.
Yep, got it on Twisters.
Yeah, if the teams are ready, let us get into game 4. Get
Let's do
ready
it.
for this one with TSM leading the charge by a mile. But it is a Hunter featurette. With these tournaments, anything can happen, especially as teams start learning the tricks of the trade. Try to feed more kills into your Mercuries, and then suddenly you can see teams elevated to first place. Oh yeah, we're waiting for the Woody. Okay.
Yep, and then we'll start shortly after that. Yeah, so what's the kind of biggest change? I mean, we saw like a change with, for example, E-Plats, for example, changing in price with the patch because of the dunks.
Yep.
They changed it to be 3 times as much, which is a insane price increase.
For E-Plats?
Yeah.
Oh damn. I mean,
So that's gonna.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry, I was getting messages from players asking me about
No
the
worries,
bans,
no worries.
but you already typed it in. So yeah. So just make sure we reiterate. I was expecting only bullet trains. Not as much as I like that. I know not all our players like only bullet trains, so we save that for my birthday. that is for my birthday. But we already had bullet train for game 1, and we're gonna have bullet train for game 6. So that's my way around it.
Wicked,
But yeah, kind of looking at that, I don't see it as really being that bad, especially if you're gonna have dunks not nearly as they're still strong, but not as strong as it had been. So
yeah.
it makes a lot more sense to kind of make it more difficult for E-Plants and make it so that they're more expensive. Plus, we're seeing so many E-Plants. Like, it was getting almost a little ridiculous with just how many. Obviously, it was needed against dunks, but you still want some way to play with Abyss as a dunker. So you don't want to completely take away their ability to function. But you also want to make it so that like people aren't going to be that punished either.
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting as the game continues to progress and evolve with various different changes. If they're going to do even more changes to dunking or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
exactly.
see what they can, because I know that some people, it was kind of people are kind of half and half split. Like some people like the dunk changes because it kind of prevents that Boolean state where it's kind of you're really unhappy. Like oh, I got hooked by a KP and then dunked. I couldn't really do anything and I'm instantly dead.
Yeah.
Now you've got a chance to survive. That does hopefully level the playing field and prevent those kind of those feels bad moments.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people who like the dunks are a little upset about it, but I honestly think it's healthier for the game. I love dunks. I think spiking is a fun mechanic, but making it so that it's a little bit more user-friendly and beginner-friendly is going to be good for and healthier for the game in the long run. But here we are. We got to talk about this game, Game 4, as we have Twisters. And as we said before, TSM leading the charge. They are well ahead of everybody. So we'll see if any teams are going to be able to close that distance. Now that we have introduced bans, no more Wukong, no more Shiv, no more Bishop, and no more Kingpin. So 2 of our dunkers gone. Very interested to see how teams are going to now prioritize their compositions.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm actually very surprised that there's only one team that went for the armors. That was in the drop line as well. Everyone just, you know, a lot of teams, or 2 teams went down to Coldfang. It looks like ADD instantly split and went towards the grind instead. Everyone else is pretty much well dispersed. TR1 looking to maybe rotate around on this small island, maybe towards Vane Grove. Apart from that.
I'm very surprised by that as well. Like, would have expected a lot more teams to try to contest EV here up in the north, but nobody wanting to see if they can take that away from them. So EV, they're going to be more than happy with getting all that gold armor to themselves. As we see Fate Strikes dunked by Sebi. Unfortunately, well, yes, dunking is not as prevalent. It still is prevalent to some degree.
Yeah, 100%. And just a question that you had in chat in respect to bans. So I think after game 3, we're banning 4 characters.
Yeah, I'm typing it in chat, so that way it's
oh, there we go. Perfect. No worries then.
Shiv and Bishop. All right, there we go. That way it's a little easier, so people can just read that.
Awesome.
But here we go. Kind of looking
around these teams.
Looking around. Ooh, a Bebo here for Rift.
Yeah.
I'm surprised now this is something I'm a little bit more surprised by. That we were talking about this. We had a conversation earlier about like how 2 stars and 3 stars open up a few more hunters. Bebo, I feel like, is very enabled by having 2 and 3 stars, especially being someone that is stronger with more levels, especially as the game progresses. But we haven't seen any Bebo. Like, over in APAC, no Bebo whatsoever. Here, only the 1 Bebo being played, and I'm really just curious as why that is. I thought Bebo would have been far more prevalent.
Yeah, it's a relatively unconventional pick. There's only a couple of players just in EU in general. It seems to be one of those things where, you know, based on the region, you know, in comparison to NA, I'm pretty sure NA has at least like 5 players that, you know, that are in the top scene that play it. But for EU, it's maybe like 2 to 3. We've got like Orlando's, of course. We've got Revel. We've got Ash. Yeah, Ezeb, of course. We don't see that. We don't see him around too often.
Not as much as we used to. I mean, another one, Cask. Cask plays a mean Bebo, so I'm surprised. I called out Cask before on this one as well, saying they were like, "Oh, Bebo is bad," and then they're like, "All right, play a game of it in scrims." Played their first game and won right away. And it's like, wait a minute, you might be onto something. It's like, I'm just saying. But granted, here they do have to play Mercury, so Cask is playing that Mercury here for the team. I have Kuba on. Oh, I like this comp here from Mist. This is something that I was really excited about seeing with APAC. We saw a lot of teams, especially when it came to the second rotation and with their bans, they put a lot more prevalence onto Felix with Mercury than we see here in EU. But something that we saw from them, why they liked having this Felix with Mercury, is the engage potential and how much you can back that up as Mercury. And so for
100%,
I like looking at Mist, I think this is a very strong comp that they are bringing with both Brawl and Felix backed up by that Mercury.
Yep, exactly. It looks like as well at the same time 3LP did manage to find a car and skirt through. You know, we definitely saw MST trying to gatekeep them when possible, and a massive fight potentially brewing between SB and TSM. Looks like they've actually split ways right at the end. I think they're trying to get that tome if possible. And just above that, we're looking at EV. They're trying to break that wall and maybe have first dibs on it. We'll see how this one's going to evolve.
As teams slowly moving, looking for that Codex, waiting for that to crash down. EV holding on to the high ground, kind of getting wrapped around by TSM, but they'll maybe now locked in an awkward spot into the Thunderdome. The teams are going to break down those walls, and they're going to be on top of Little Meep, so going to be the first one taking down EV, punishing that from TSM, making sure that there's no way for that Wisp to get out of there. They are now fighting up against SB, getting a lot of damage on a Gecko. Cookies looking for the Volcanic Crusher, crushing the competition, but they've been able to backblast back with the rest of the team, and EV are fine for the moment.
Oh my god, this is going to be very intense. SB do have a very, full-in kind of comp, especially if Cookies just get that momentum in and gets a surprise dunk, and then Gecko can follow it up. But we did see the heal there from that Mercury, kind of negating some of the damage that Gecko was at least trying to do with the combo on Oath.
Yeah, but
so we need to see, if they've got enough, sustainability to actually get a full fight in. But at the same time, Levi does have that anti-heal proc. That's going to potentially, even out the fight a bit more in EV's favor.
And this is kind of what I was talking about before with Mercury, and why Mercury is going to be very interesting to see with competition. Right there, you saw that neutral game between the two teams, where they were trying to get some damage on each other, but because of Contingency Vial, because of Cinnabar Cocktail, they just heal back all the damage. Any poke that is put back on them, they heal back up, and they can still stand strong. So the team that ends up having the better armor, in that case being Eevee, is the team that remains in control of Vayne Grove and get themselves that Abyssal Hatchling.
Exactly, and SB have just rotated all of the map. Now they're in 9 acres. It looks like in this scenario, RCW are going to the north side. FFD, we've seen Dracos with a shift level 4, creating that ice in the abyss. It looks like Acklings has found Courageous as well.
Yeah, seeing a bit of a fight up in the north. QTS, it's only Mercury, it's only OC15. Back blast over the abyss, and 3LP can hunt down the lone Mercury. Sending out the salvo, chopping down those trees. OC15 with another back blast over the abyss, and a long way to go. Magic Mortar not going to connect. Shroom has sent the team launched over to QTS and looking for OC15. Can he get to Kobayashi's in time? Mortar for Mortar with a golden beam. Goodbye, OC15.
It looks like in the same scenario, or at the same time, should I say, RCW lost 2 members, looking to get that Cobra as if possible. We're looking at Auto Repair and Corrosion for the Knights, for the Soul, shall I say. And they've got the res off, but Crystal, already on super low HP, is he going to be able to survive this?
No way. Second win. No, Crystal. Magic Mortar. Wait a minute. Rift. Where is Bebo? Bebo went up north, so RCW, they are not done just yet.
At the same time, it looks like Wood's already down. One last member now. In this case, Ice. Go down to the left-hand side if possible. He's got the wind tunnel to play on. Maybe to get that ever-needed escape. Looks like he's going to be successful in this scenario.
But now another team down to only Mercury. As they hope to be able to get out of that one. And looking at another team. This time, it's going to be the real ones. Lawadi had to swap away as Void. This is not looking too good, thankfully. Sky Shark awaits their arrival. Hop onto the bike. They'll be able to escape the danger zone they had themselves in for a moment. We see some of these respawn beacons. Eevee already putting down the Cinnabar Cocktail. Oh no! Sebi interrupting the revive at the very last second. So Mr. Ice-T now sent flying over the abyss, and we're seeing more teams join in, crash the party. Mr. Ice-T with the ice crumbling beneath them. Eevee are gone.
It's not even global warming to blame in that scenario, man. It's sad.
Yeah, sadly for Mr. Ice-T, the ice was not their friend, and now we have another team gone. So 2 teams removed fairly early in our competition for Game 4. We see more fighting potentially up here in the northern part. BM losing Spider Brawl. As the Shire chasing them over to Rift. Rift has revived RCW. They are looking a little bit battered. While the Shy debate whether they want to chase on it to RCW, they want to chase on a BM, or they want to chase onto the real ones. They decided for none of them, just trying to get some damage to stick onto anybody.
A res attempt as well. See if that one's going to be successful by Ash. He's getting Mortar temporarily, twice now in fact, taking quite a lot of damage, and Orlando's is trying to hold this on as long as possible. Ash pops it with the ulti, and Hachi returns the damage.
Oh no, BM, how do you get out of this one? Spider Brawl tries to Spider-Man his way right through all these teams, and same with Ash and Orlando's, but the golden beam from the real ones takes down one, and Ash, the last one left for BM, holding on to the Cinnabar Cocktail, but another blast back not gonna save Ash as the real ones have the real kill onto BM.
And it just looks like as well at the same time on the a car's been popped. Looks like it might be a successful escape by Rift right at the last second on the top side as well. As we flip back up to Shy, and this time in this scenario TSM Theo tries to pop it with the ult with the squid as well. Combo doing a massive amount of damage. Oh, the TP actually screw up Saros, but just managed to survive with a slither of HP. But now they're in TO1's territory.
Yeah, this has been the problem for a lot of these teams. The circle has kept them all nearby one another. Thought the Shy were going to get punished by the real ones, but the real ones maybe a little bit too worried about the potential third party. They decide to let the Shy slip through their fingers, looking over at TSM. While down south, 3LP chasing FFD into the corrupted zone. Fuzu is now down. So another team gone. RCW. Their Bebo was hoping for a crown play, but they still got YN on the respawn beacon up north.
Looking at Aiden, Akalix in this scenario. Look at how he's stuck between these two teams, and now he's finally been revealed or shows himself. He's able to reunite with the dash with the other members of 3LP. Vortex Charm gets a little bit of a connection on Hachi. Going enough for a stun, but the ulti. Sprokane!
Going to get revived. Hachi was not in time to be able to bring back up Sprokane, and even with the Cinnabar cocktail, 3LP breaking down the doors on the Shy as they are chasing down the two that remain for the Shy, but they got to be careful. Down south is TSM. Nuclear launch at their position, and here's going to be Theo. Theo a little bit late. Instead, we'll stare down and see whether the Shy are going to try to push back into the circle.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams on this kind of top left-hand side of the circle. On the bottom right-hand side, we do see two potential teams that might have their own little mini fight, and maybe already one brewing as the one of the souls has already been taken. Gecko in potentially a bit of trouble.
They got Avalanche put down, looking for some snowman to create, but 3LP have gotten away with Abyssal Breaker, disrupting, damage dealt. But there's a second win from Shroom, but Shroom has a Vortex Charm in the land, and he is able to make his own escape as well.
That boss zone expanded just enough for both teams to kind of have their own little separate out there without, either person dying, but they lost a lot of armors in that exchange, so. On the top right hand side, we are seeing a res attempt from Hachi. He's going to be able to successfully bring back Spro back as a full 3-man. And the zone is pulling down to the south, so we're looking at Imorius up for grabs as well in about 25 seconds. We're looking at TSM also doing a rotate. 3 teams potentially converging here, and ulti's popped in both directions by Shy and RCW. Wayan is also split now, last alive for RCW. Crystal's trying to get the res off with his own little passive right at the last second. Oh, it's going to be good to make it. The bomb's there as well for reinforcements. Does get it off successfully.
Now, with so many teams here, it is going to be 3LP pushed back to RCW, but RCW can't punish just yet. They saw Sebi behind them, and they're too afraid with the Golden Beam doing so much damage, ripping apart RCW as Sebi tries to take them down. There's going to be another fight on the northern part. It's going to be the Stormbreakers TSM. Blink doesn't hop away with the team. Instead, the team is then sent over the abyss with the Shy stomping on the west. And we see that RCW on the kill feed. They have been eliminated. Missed, then pushed back by Stormbreakers.
Have a look on the bottom right hand side. We thought that ADD were going to have their own little fight with MST, but especially with the armor advantage, actually, all things considered. But they've just been chilling on the bottom right hand side. Maybe they've, again, this is the cast the cursed or whatever you want to call it. Kalska's at least doing a little bit of window shopping. And maybe eyeing up a nice juicy steak there. Oh, at the same time, Sprokane already caught dead.
Broken down, Hachi hover wings back, but can he get back with the Assur to save the team? They put down the contingency vial, but they stomped on the wisp. Saros will not be back. They can take away Sprokane, then 3LP pushing back onto the Stormbreakers. Not breaking the defenses that SB have been able to put up for themselves, while the Shy over the abyss, waiting to see if they can rejoin and pick up that crown or get anything, any real estate back for the team. Well, 3LP slowly try to get onto this big island that the real ones control.
Oh my god, and it looks like Pointer's died amidst the chaos, so they're going to be definitely have to look for res if possible. There is res, but it is on MST's
beam.
Raxa's
gone, and Sebi is still alive. This brawl might have a way back into the game, but I'm looking at where they can go. We see that, yes, sir, same position, but on opposite side of the trees to the brink, and they have to fight their way through the real ones, and now we're going to be an Abyssal Breaker on the track with Stormbreakers pushing back onto the real ones. The swap from Roddy trying to get back onto the tracks. Well, yes, sir, slips through their fingers. Grabby Squid with the dunk on a purple. Swap away from the Waddy. He is alive, and they've got the Singularity that was able to lock him down, but they have the Cinnabar cocktail, keeping Cookies at full. While TSM, they put down their own cocktail, double Grabby, but not going to be Cookies who joined in the fight. Instead, has to catch a form, staying alive. He is fine at the moment, but it is looking rough for the teams.
Yeah, and then so SB, they're just looking for an opportunity to pounce. If they get one clean in, it's going to be over for TSM likely, especially with no armors. They're completely in poverty, it seems. Maybe they can get to a bonfire or get some, they've got a little bit of money for a couple of repairs. Yasa also last alive, takes the Twister out at the last second, and a massive engagement.
Now with the double Abyssal Breaker, they're healing up with the Golden Beam. Theo is going to have broken armor, though. On to Chai and looking for yes sir. Sprokane still on the main lane. Oh no! They accidentally spiked themselves with the E-plat.
Oh my god, this is a disaster. Cookie's just going so insane mode. He was, he's like, he's just cooking completely the last second, and it's just been neutralized now by their own team member. 3OP now, potential free pickings is, I think Shy lost their member. Anyway, but here's popped by Yasa. Let's see who's going to end up in this scenario.
Oh,
so the tree drags.
no! He goes nowhere. Pretty much just goes over to 3 little pigs. As Amorius up north, they can pick that one up. And then a crown for Gecko. Gecko has to bring back up the team. We hear the respawn beacon. Yes, sir, was hoping with the Fairy Sphere they had enough time, but the Shy have been eliminated. TSM take that down, and now with the Flame Shield, Golden Beam combo, not locking it down for Miss just yet. And same with the Vortex Charm. Not able to punish Blink. So 3 little pigs will let TSM escape.
And Immortus just was left on 77% HP. SB actually getting that boxers off. They're going to be successful, so no need for a crown pop. 2 members left for TSM. On the top side, we're looking at MST and 3OP. Aiden's already popped
Golden
the ulti.
Beam, getting a lot of damage on a Cask. Same with the Hover Wings, and even with the Flight of the Firefox, they peel back. They look for Mercury. Couldn't punish. It is going to be a Vortex Charm. Golden Beam onto Akka Lynx, melting him through, but it's at a trade of 1 for 1. They're trying to get the respawn, but another Vortex Charm to land. Do they have enough time? Cask is back in the game. Kalskinator can now dive to try to see if they can take down 3 little pigs. But they have gotten themselves back while TSM waited for Little Meep, and they can look for round 2 up against Miss 200.
Yep, and Kubus has got surprisingly really nice armor after that, continuous engagements that they've had. SB have got all members back, of course. Armor's looking good. Perks as well. And 3OP now just chilling in the bush. I'm wondering if MSD going to check this one. Ooh.
I know. It is dicey. 4 teams still remain. 3 little pigs. The only team, I believe, that are down a player. They've sent out the Golden Beam to get a lot of damage, but Kuba and Cask will heal up with the Cinnabar Cocktail and push back 3 little pigs while Stormbreakers, the bait if they want to punish. They found the E-plat for Shroom, but Shroom has to go above their heads, leaving Aiden alone. Only Zeph for 3 little pigs as TSM assail his position, and they are making sure they chase him to the brink of the breach and making sure there is no easy way back into this one. Shroom doing so much to try to get away from this fight, and he is alive.
Yep, and he manages to make it out just like a whole, full lap there. He's done his 10 kilometers for the day. He's got his exercise in, and now he's trying to fight against MST. The fan has been placed for the extra bit of momentum. Just managed to rotate around to the right side again and get the dash in.
Shroom, he is going for another journey. I don't even know where he can go. There is a respawn beacon down south, but it's on the base camp of SB. Even with the jet stream, do you have enough time to get this respawn off? They're now on your position. Golden Beam taking the damage on a Shroom in the storm. A volcanic crusher to crush Shroom's dreams.
Yeah, he even had the uppercut this there right at the last second for an extra bit of invulnerability, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. In the zone as well, super unfortunate. We're looking at a crown in the middle of this island as well. Should one team lose a member now, it's just 3 teams left. On the north side, we're looking at TSM. Their armors have continuously improved over the course of this game, especially in the last portion of it. And now they're having their own little fight in the island, but knocked off temporarily. Abyssal Breaker.
Abyssal Breaker, and then dunk onto 1. That's got to be careful here for Miss. They're in a bad spot with the Golden Beam doing nothing. Trade for trade, and now the blast back with Tetra looking for Cask. There goes Miss 200 with TSM and the Stormbreakers. A Golden Beam out of depth, right? Getting a little bit of damage onto TSM. They have been able to hold off the defenses and hold off the offensive here of SB. Another Tetra form from Cookies. Golden Beam doing damage. Grabby Squid denied as they pushed him back, but it's Theo on the other side all alone. having to get their own grabby onto Gecko. Broken shield, broken dreams. That's the damage onto Oath, pushed into the storm. Golden beam from Little Meep, interrupted by Cookies as they try to stomp on the Wisp, but Gecko's back in. Deprek taken down, but 3 for TSM, another Abyssal Breaker. Cookies pushing him back as best he can, but Gecko is separated. They don't have the team grouped up together. Little Meep keeping him far away with the Magic Mortar, but now Crown's been picked up by Gecko as SB tried to regroup once more. Jump pad's been placed down by TSM. They could look for the full engage onto SB. They're waiting until that last possible minute until they actually want to send it. There it is. They've got the cooldowns. They push back Gecko. More rocks launched at them. Tetraform trying to create distance and create time. Golden Beam. It's blocked by the Tetraform, that E-Plat, and the Rock Wave, making sure that Cookies can heal back up, but they don't have a Mercury. Their neutral's not nearly as strong, and even with the Grabby missing from Theo, they've been pushed over the abyss. They've got to get a dunk to land. Cookies gets it, but it doesn't reduce the cooldown. Instead, they've got the damage. They've got Blink and TSM. They had the game in the bag, but the Stormbreakers break open this game. It's only Little Meep, this lone Mercury, to try to fend off 3 with a Grabby Squid, pushing him into the abyss, and a Golden Beam doing so much damage on each side, but it's Cookies looking to chase down Little Meep. A Rock Wave, Volcanic Crusher. Little Meep is down. There's no way back in this game. Stormbreakers take game 4.
Man, Cookies, he's like defined a new, like the newest unit. Like you could have millimeters and then whatever it is, like decimeters. Like he's just defined a new unit for like the thinnest kind of needle that you could ever thread in the world with that slam, with that squid. Oh my god, that was absolute cinema.
Damn. Alright. I am going to I'm going to get some tea really quick before we start the game. So give it a sec. Hold on. They're saying audio went down for my Twitch again. Is it working so well all the way? That's weird.
No worries. Oh my god, that last fight was incredible. And as I said, the Crown did pay dividends on that mini island when they got that pickup. Oh man, it was just an opportune time for that pickup. And Cookies was there on the bottom left hand side, pops the E-Plat. He has the walls for cover to kind of prevent the Mercury ult from doing that much damage. They really juggled the damage coming their way really well right at the end. That last fight was, you know, immaculate play from all sides there right at the end. Holy. Can't believe it. I think I need a drink myself in that scenario. It's so hot. Gotta take off my top in this scenario. It's way too hot. Don't know if it's just heated up in the UK, but who knows? Alrighty, game 5, if I'm not mistaken, coming up very shortly. We need to have a quick look at what the Storm Shift is going to be for that one. Quickly flick over. There we go. For game 5, it's going to be cross country. Ooh. Oh man. Yeah, we've been practicing with 4 bands as well. For anyone who's been watching, we had another upcoming tournament in a week's time, hosted by Sprocane, with a prize pool as well, kindly given by Mr. Ice-T, which is I believe one of the players for EV. So make sure you check in for that one. That one's going to be incredible. Hopefully, that one's going to have slightly different bands, of course. So after game 2 in that tournament, there will be 2 bands. And then after game 4, there'll be 2 more bands. So 4 bands in total, as opposed to the 3 that we currently see for Man Magical's one. So great stuff.
There we go. I'm back.
Welcome back, dude. I've changed it to cross country, so I think that's the one we want. If you're ready to go, I can send it.
I am ready.
Alrighty.
Oh man, so weird that like I'm doing the multi-Twitch, but like only Twitch is the one that really gets messed up for some reason. It's really weird.
Super odd.
Yeah.
I just saw numerous were having a bit of a connection issue there, right at the last
Yeah,
second.
I
What
was
is going
noticing
on?
that too. But it's okay. So cross country for this one, right? You got it
Yep.
all set up?
Yep, I put cross country. Yeah,
Perfect.
we're all good.
Perfect. Alrighty. Game 5.
Alchemy.
Getting ready for our 5th one. After game 5, we will add up the points again.
Yep.
I didn't do anything
man.
different.
You are the drop leader.
I didn't do anything different. I don't know why. I don't know why the audio came back up. That's weird. That's very strange.
All good.
But I am. Whew, I definitely need some tea though. After doing APAC last night solo and then doing this on very
Yeah, I
little
mean,
sleep.
doing anything solo is always
Yeah, but
you've got to have a
also
lot of fortitude, man. I don't know how you did that, and this one afterwards.
it's also doing this one after like I got like a 2-hour nap in before
Yeah.
coming to this one. So I'm doing this. Gonna do this one, walk my dog really quick after that, then go take another nap, and then try to do NA. So hopefully we'll get enough.
If you need,
Hopefully we'll
yeah,
get
if
enough.
you need a
sleep.
hand with NA, I can maybe help. I have a public holiday in the UK for Monday, so
So
got an extra bit of leeway.
Maybe.
Okay.
I might need help with observing because I know Zik wants to join in. Logic, I wanted to get in, but I needed someone for APAC. So not having someone for APAC and now having 2 people who want to do that. I already promised Zik first that he can do NA, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Logic in as well. I'm going to try.
Okay, no worries. I could only hear about half of that because people were just
Yeah,
responding
yeah.
permanently. You might have to repeat that or DM me afterwards.
Yeah, I will. I'll DM,
as we
I'll
get into
DM
game
you.
5.
The biggest thing is going to make
Yeah.
sure that we get teams for NA. That's going to be the big thing. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm going to
I got
try
it.
to take a nap, which means I'm not going to be... which means I'm going to be AFK for a bit. I need some help getting teams together. That's going to be the big thing. Ooh! Look at this drop, though. First, it starts off an academy, and then we have the narrowed cone all the way over to the grind.
Yeah, look at that funneling. It looks like a RCW going straight for the Sky Sharks. TSM have made their way towards Fragile and probably towards Dawncaps for those armors. And 2 teams have actually dropped on each other in this scenario. RCW, it looks like a massive trouble for Trophy. Just getting the call at the last second. Is he going to get out this one?
Oh no, Troy P. Wait, he got one. No way, Troy P. He got one
did.
already. RCW continue to try to chase it down. Sky Shark about to blow. Troy P into the jet stream, getting so much damage onto RCW. But he's about to overheat, and somehow Troy P 1v3 beats RCW.
I cannot believe that. It almost reminds me of like a Dark Souls boss, you know, when it's kind of circling around you and then you've like killed one of the limbs and it goes like, into like a temporarily weakened state. You know, you've taken down one member. It always reminds me of that when someone dies to a Sky Shark. Holy.
All right, now, as SB Cookies grabs on a lot of that gold, we'll get back, seeing where the rest of the team are. They are quite separated. Cookies
Yeah.
will recall all the way over to the heart to join in with the rest of the team. They'll be able to farm up, but looking at how everything is, because this was such a weird drop, it was a necessity to grab these Sky Sharks and get to other parts, like right here. There's a level 4 and a level 5 there. Mercury can't heal up. It's the storm, baby. So Aiden will die over to Spider Brawl while BM continued to chase onto 3 little pigs. A nice concussive blast with the shock trap thrown. Walls did not lock down. A little bit off, but the chain has landed. They can follow up onto the position of Shroom. It's only Akalinks to escape.
Hopefully get a res off, and they should be getting out relatively unscathed. Of course, they lost the money, they lost the time, but you know, having 1 member left is all they need to kind of resprout the flower in this scenario.
Warning. Storm closing.
Look elsewhere as well. We're looking at a potential fight on the train tracks as ADD have just got their relic purchases in. Pointer as well, just about to buy. It looks like MST are trying to get their own relic buy in, but now that Pointer's potentially stuck as Calscope second, and the Mortars are now coming out in a flurry. Sebi getting those LMBs against Kuba, and he's had to dash up to the north side. It looks like MST have been potentially guarded away for the moment. And now they're getting their own little bit of mob bombing whenever possible.
But ADD, I don't think they had enough gold for all of them to buy relics. Yeah, look at that. only have one relic for Pointer. Roxa was able to at least get double relics for the team, so it gives them a little bit against Miss, but Miss, 10 Calcinator, and they noticed the weakness. That was Sebi. That's why they tried to get onto the Mercury first, but Sebi was able to get back. Might be able to buy. No, still not enough. And so Miss is going to be the full-on fight as they send it out at ADD. Sebi has been split away, and they can easily punish that, but they don't actually go for the call just yet. They decide to go into the outpost, see if they can buy up some of their own relics first, and then look for the fight. It's only Kuba that was able to purchase one so far. But we see that Calcinator trying to do the same, has been able to get their first one while Kuba buying their second. Then Cask sent aggressively at Raxa. Raxa, the one with the double relics. If they get rid of that, that's a lot of damage already denied for ADD. And with ADD kind of split up, Stormbreakers, they can intervene and third party this, but Raxa actually got punched and launched all the way back to the rest of the team, while Miss now have to deal with SB, losing one already. Then the other two of Miss 200 sent in opposite directions.
Yep, and it looks like ADD managed to, get away from that one unscathed, but now SB might have changed their eyes or, kind of focusing now on ADD. They got the car, they get their ram into Raxa. Just above them, we are looking at them, the TR1 looking for an escape in the zone. Raxa on less than half HP, about to get dunked potentially. Another car send, it's been exploded. Can he make his way down to the south side?
Cinnabar concoction. Oh, Raxa, I liked what he was attempting there, was hoping to use the shockwave to get distance from SB, but there's only so much distance you can create, and so now they are only down to one player. Gonna be rough here for ADD.
Yep, we're looking at Ever Oracle and Masamune dropping down very, very shortly. We're also looking at BM, also temporarily split, where you did see Orlando's kind of holding guard of the TP right at the end there. Now Shy looking to rotate down. We're looking at Diadem pick up for Hachi as well. Pretty much standard builds across the board on the left-hand side. We're seeing a lot of teams converging again.
I know we have this fight, but what a weird circle. It starts off with a conical shape drop over Academy that then pinpointed onto the grind, and now we have this circle dragging us all the way back over to Academy, which we very seldomly have as our final circle.
Oh, and SB Gecko managed to get that healing. 3OP managed to get a nice amount of damage in for free, but that healing from the boss just negating pretty much all of it, and 3OP just going for ascending. Oh, they got Deadbreak to super low HP.
But look at that!
Right again at the last second.
He just heals back up the full. They've got the golden beam trying to get some damage, but it's just shy of actually landing onto 3LP, and then Cookies. That rock wave didn't really help you take down that wall quickly enough, and he kind of got locked in a very awkward position there. So it seems that gives enough levity for 3LP to escape.
Yep, and there is a bit of wall tech, of course. I think it just it kind of got scuffed for some reason. But yeah, if you pop the wall, you can manage to get kind of walk over it or jump over it in some scenarios. But yeah, it kind of glitched there a little bit, and he lost a lot of tempo in that scenario. I think it would have been really exciting to see. We're looking at a bit of bomb tech as well. A nice little cheesy escape there from Bebo. Oh my god.
Rift using the fast Bebo to get out of there. Not the fast guard, just the fast Bebo. As he was able to escape. But we're back in Academy. This EV and Mist. They managed their escape, but from one fight to another. This time it's against a team that also seems to have just as broken of gear as they do. But they're not actually going to fully send it. Well, full send is here with that Tetraform from Cookies. They've been chasing 3LP for so damn long. Golden Beam as they have separated the fight to get the spike on Akalinks. 3LP into the storm. They have a way out, but man, this circle just keeps getting weirder. How much abyss do we have here?
Yeah, I don't know. They just put the cross-country on steroids, it feels like, for this new patch, potentially. Just for this tournament, in fact. Oh, but Wood is on super low HP. He might get down.
Oh, there goes Wood. Wood is gone, and now with the Golden Beam, there goes Levi. Golden Beam from Mr. Ice-T under the wall of Academy. But unfortunately for EV, notice that TSM were right there, so it had to go to the Fragmented Isles as a form of escape. There are some respawn beacons. Also, Zikrik, what a go with the 4-month resub. Absolutely amazing.
Zikrik, man. Amazing dude. Amazing caster, man.
Yes.
Again, there's amazing tutorials. Go and watch his stuff, man.
Yes. If you haven't checked it out, Zik Supervive is where you can check that out. We got to check out how these fights are. And then oh my goodness, Zik with 5 gifted subs afterwards too. Zik, you're amazing, but we got to talk about this fight because right now Sprokane has no health and is taken down by Ash. Mercury and the rest of BM eliminate the Shy first.
Oh my god, and just after that, we're looking at TSM. Look at their armors in comparison to 3OP. They're fighting for the dregs, it seems like. And it looks like RCW were trying to get the soul, but now 3OP, Aiden, stuck in a very, very sticky situation. One spike already. And it looks like Aiden might take it anyway, but here, he's going to take it. Where's he going to land?
Go? Where's he going to go? Wait, yes. Oh no! Oh no! What the? FFD were right there, but it had a Sky Shark. Grabs onto that one, gets out of there. We have to stay in Academy. We gotta go to school here and learn some gameplay because we are still focused on Academy. 3 teams are now within its walls.
Oh, this is looking quite dangerous. Kalsk is setting it in full fat. He's already had to pop the ulti for the extra bit of defensive measure, but the Rain of Arrows
Golden Beam.
Both sides.
Kalsk is gone. Kalsk is gone. Golden Beam down onto TSM, but they might be able to get the revive onto Brawl. Well, Kuba is on the other side, waiting to see if they want to engage on the fight while Kalsk tries to save Kalskinator. And they will be reformed once again, but they are in a troubling spot. They don't have an easy way of getting out of this one while EV are still on to the Meteor Soul. It is collected by Levi, but now BM with their own Golden Beam. That damage onto EV. They've sent in the cavalry. They've taken down Levi. Wood is gone too. It's just Mr. Ice-T locked into school, and it is going to be his death that he finds with too many teams surrounding their position. Change from Kalskinator on to TSM. TSM still hold the line, but here comes a corrupted zone, making it difficult for them to escape. They have to go through it first and deal with some of the damage that Kubo was able to place onto them. They have a way out of there. There's anywhere but here if they need the ultimate escape. But do they want to even risk that and getting split up as a team? Nuke has been launched at them. TSM have been able to stop, and a nice block with a bright shield denying the flight of the Firefox from Kuba. Well, RCW come in from the south. They've been pushed in by another corrupted zone. We see that Sebi's on the other side of the wall. Not able to get out of there, but with the portal, it's on to Sebi. Blink has noticed them. They've sent more, trying to get Sebi, but Sebi hasn't taken the portal back and forth. Then it's going to be missed, pushing back onto RCW with ADD. Only having Sebi. Sebi is gone. Given over a kill over to Y, and then RCW dealing with miss as it is going to be RCW trying to get back and away. TSM still on the other side of the wall. They've been going back and forth with this portal over and over again, but the Cinnabar concoction will heal back miss 200. They're going to be fine, and they see how low that blink is. Even with the walls they've tried to put up, their walls have finally crumbled around them. Grabby Squid, no distance gain. TSM eliminated.
I don't believe it. And we just saw another spike as well at the last second. So BM have been, slowly been accruing kills. They've been playing on the south side quite a predominant amount of time, and now they finally come up. Looks like the ulti's been cancelled at the last second by Cal. Takes out the last member.
And we see that Stormbreakers got eliminated too, right about the same time. So many teams getting eliminated in quick succession as we are running out of land to play for.
The storm is closing.
Yep, you're seeing a crown pickup for QTS as well. We've seen Choipy on the Ghost as well in this scenario. Pepper looking to get their snipes whenever possible. Had to pop E-Plat just a little bit prematurely. Hopefully they're going to be able to make it out of this one.
Nice block as they're putting up the walls and they're sending out the Abyssal Breaker. Can they get the crown? Choipy, he's got enough health and he's playing aggressively. But Zug has gotten that Cinnabar cocktail, healing all the way back up to full. Nothing can stop them as you are now the ones sent into the storm. If you have an E-Plat, you gotta play it perfectly here, Choipy. You're about to overheat. They're chasing onto your position. I don't see an E-Plat, and it gives the real ones their own crown play.
Yeah, it looks like FFD have their own little safe space on the bottom hand side, which no one is going to basically intervene with. At the same time, Arclinx is dead. 3OP just chilling in the bush. They're waiting to pick up the crown. They're just waiting. It's at their feet. So that's going to be something that's going to be happening very shortly. On the top side, we're kind of seeing a mirror of what we saw on the south side. It looks like Zugzwang gets died to the abyss as well. What happened there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there either. Maybe just wasn't paying attention to the overheat and then something. Who knows what happened? But
yeah,
I'm looking at this storm shift as it did take us all the way out here with all that abyss, but it's taking us back into Academy, making us go back within its walls. So it's going to be quite a crazy circle here with 5 teams.
Oh my god, and we are looking at Orb of Revival. Once that the boss zone kind of collapses, eventually there might be a little sneaky peek that some team can use to get all members back if someone dies. We're looking at double chunkers placed, very, very nicely here in formation for TR1 to provide an extra bit of security, kind of on this ledge.
But we do have a bit of downtime. The team's kind of relaxing as they're waiting for the cross-country storm to force them into Academy. No teams want to be the first ones to enter, especially because those corrupted zones, both souls landing within the walls of Academy, making so that even with the cross country, they're going to have to now play through these zones. They're playing through additional damage. This is really risky. Like right there, see how Miss have that little sliver, barely getting enough because the corrupted zone is slowly retreating.
Safe zone moves.
Yep, exactly. And let's have a quick look at economy just to make sure, you know, if there is anything that can happen. Surprise, never mind, a potential interaction. Look, Kauskas had to jump back onto his bonfire right at the last second. BM still have domain. They've got the mortars, of course, which is going to be the extra bit of necessary poke to potentially force them ST off. But BM are now slowly making their way in, trying to get those last mobs whenever possible as well.
No. For these teams, as the corrupted zone goes, oh, Miss just making the call, tanking the damage, trying to get right through it because that cross country moving fast. But BM, they're just as quick. They're already in position while you put down the base camp to give you vision. BM are still down south and they're holding a strong spot against you. The only problem is now, you see the real ones. They noticed Zugswing had been split off away from the rest of the team. The Golden Beam to try to heal him back up as he tried to get underneath the walls. But even with the overkill rounds, they got to connect that onto Zugswing. He wants to get to the border, but couldn't get there in time. And now Miss, they see they can strike onto BM, but BM's already put down the Cinnabar cocktail. So they'll be healed up nice and well. We see how the rest of the teams are staying outside of Academy. Nobody really wanting to enter in. FFD, 3LP, waiting until the cross country will pull them back over into the hollows.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very, very difficult migration for TR1 to make. Have they got enough for a crown? Is this? Yeah, they do. So they can potentially be another crown. Anuka's already dropped, trying to prevent 3LP from getting, you know, or the escape, I guess, on the through the underside for TR1. 3LP are now making their way through. 30 seconds left on the crown. FFD are holding this one out.
Do they have any plat as well? Phase Strikes has been waiting. They are making the play on Aiden. Shroom trying to use the Zephyr. Golden Beam healing them back up, but it's gonna be even with the second win. No second win there for Shroom, but Aiden had enough time to be able to get over the abyss and is following the course of the storm. We'll be back into the circle, but here outside of Academy, utilizing the portals. Do you chase Mr. Waiting? They don't know if they want to make this call just yet to try to go onto the territory that BM have. Instead, they'd rather go underneath the walls, knowing that portal is going to be dangerous while we see the Wadi holding on to their own crown. 3LP, they got their crown play, and they're playing aggressively. The Wadi's taking a lot, and there goes Tetra, only leaving SARS purple. Has to get away. Portal over. Might have dragged them to their demise, but FFD, they've shown up to save the day and make sure they take down the real ones, then get rid of Hackle Links with Fate Strikes playing aggressively onto 3LP. Swap back into the hollows. Dunk onto Aiden. It's only Shroom left. Grabby. Singularity. Fate Strikes takes away the three little pigs. Then Miss 200 and BM. They push down into the hollows onto FFD. The three teams that remain, but it seems that FFD, they've taken their prize, and they'll be able to get back into the circle.
Yeah, I cannot believe that. And the Mortals are going to keep continuously coming out as the circle continues to close. That's definitely going to make the amount of available space even smaller than it actually seems. We're looking at FFD. You know, they've actually capitalized very, very well on 3LP. Managed to forage their bodies, get a lot of goodies. And on the top side, looks like BM are they're just waiting, patiently biding their time whenever possible.
Yeah, back into the, you know, our typical, the good and the bad and the ugly scenario with teams slowly pushing back and forth. Waiting to see. Oh, wow. We are really getting dragged along with the cross-country storm. Also, what's up? Certainly someone here. I love seeing you back in the stream. Definitely check out Supervive if you haven't. Beautiful game. Absolutely fun. Highly, highly recommend. Whew.
Oh, my God.
Whew.
That money and items, seeing what's going on there. Oof, okay. On the top side. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a potential troubling rotation around to this new circle. That's going to be the thing to watch out for, I reckon, in this scenario. But they are biding their time, maybe considering their options. I think maybe a wide circle around from the left-hand side might be the safest in, because they definitely don't know where FFD are unless they make some noise. I do think, you know, going through the kind of center down... They should probably pop the scan. I hope they've... Okay, they've popped it already. There we go. Never mind.
But I'm looking at our teams. I was like, will follow our cross-country storm, FFD. They played very passively all game. As you talked about before, they were all the way on the outskirts of the circle. Slowly, they moved their way in. They found some really critical fights now, and they are kind of in control of the behind them. I love the attempt there from Fate, looking for another grabby kidnap play. Very close, but not quite.
Yep, and it's going to be, I guess one of the things that's really interesting to notice, of course, with the squid nerf not being able to root anymore, that, you know, Face Strikes or any dunker is going to have a potentially more difficult time, you know, actually getting that character down temporarily for a split amount of time before they actually get their own dunk off, of course. And maybe in some instances it's potentially easier because you can leverage their momentum in some sort of way or predict the momentum. As you mentioned before, I think maybe towards the start of the stream, that it's kind of a higher skill reward to get that thing off now because there's no root, of course.
Yeah. But BM, they had slowly wrapped their way into the circle. They've taken control away from FFB, been pushed off the island by Miss 200. Again, playing this very calm, collected game for not really wanting to be the team to initiate. They've been able to punish a couple teams in some of these fights, but as we have this calm, whoa, I think it's because he went right over Spider Brawl. That would have been quite a crazy kidnap onto Spider Brawl, but look at all of these chonkers placed down by BM.
Can't believe it, yep, and they're definitely going to want to take over the high ground straight away, as MST have already walked over. And, let's have a quick look at the bonfire situation, see if any nukes are going to get dropped in the next couple of moments. On the south side, we're looking at a potential bond steal from Dracos, as he's sending in those NMBs whenever possible. Face Strikes is just lurking around. Looks like Dracos is flanking around the left-hand side too. Orlando is trying to poke out MST when possible, but don't have much solid ground to play on. If they get forced off, could spell danger for them.
It's kind of the nice thing about having Mercury. It's a lot easier to be able to get rid of things like Chonker Cannons. Fate almost was able to get the kidnap onto BM, but this is now where everything is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Miss. They already tried to see if they can start out the fight, but Cast took a little bit too much damage, and Spider Brawl a little bit too afraid to start it off as well. When the Brawl doesn't want to dive in, you know that things are tense.
Yep, exactly. And as you mentioned, those chonkers keep providing dividends. But as we saw before, like even with the pre 1.0, and you know, if Mortal's ever in play, of course, it's now part of Mercury's kit. You're going to try and take down those chonkers to kind of neutralize and open up the free space again. We're looking at maybe Dracos with the perk that gives the non-consumable elixir. Just pops one, you know, they've made that change. A singularity pop gets cancelled. TP's away.
Fate couldn't get away in time. So there goes the kidnap for FFD. They couldn't even be able to bring back up the Wisp with the golden beam. Healing up Miss. They chase on to MB, but MB, they use their own golden beam to make sure they're keeping up. But there's going to be Kuba sending it in deep, looking to see if they get the damage. The anti-heal has been applied. They've got the damage, but they still somehow survive. Finally, it's going to be the dash in from Calcinator to get rid of Orlando's. Well, on the other side, FFD, they've revived Fate Strikes. Guess what? You hadn't finished him off just yet. You thought he was done. But FFD are still a part of the game. While we see on the south side that BM, they're on the respawn beacon that just barely was able to get into the zone. So now they have the full team once more.
They were able to capitalize off the chaos to get that res off. We saw it happen, I think, just last game as well, and they've been able to do it again and again and again. This time, BM, the armor's looking quite west.
Nice first barricade. But Dracos, even though he took a lot of damage, they had the Cinnabar cocktail with the contingency vial to heal them back up. And look at this. This is what I'm talking about with Mercury. The neutral game, if you do not fully send these fights, teams will heal back the full. The only problem is we see for MB that they are low. BM, they are low on their armor. Only Spider Brawl has armor left. Never mind, that has been taken away. And now they are at the brink, about to get sandwiched between the two teams. Pushed over the abyss. Spider Brawl separated. Singularity, it missed from Fate Strike, but he swaps back with the rest of the team. And now, chilling finale. Dracos bounced away, couldn't get over the wall, so instead has to go back with the rest of FFD.
I can't believe that, you know, when someone gets blasted away like that, it just reminds me of like a beach ball, you know, it's just got that super low kind of, what's it called, the kind of physics where it kind of just slowly drops down.
Yeah.
Especially when he's mid-chilling finale cast. MST are looking super strong with their armors. Ash with barely with 0, in fact. Orlando's also 0. So, to be honest, it looks like MST, then FFD, then BM, unless someone gets like a really clean third party.
I feel like that's what the teams are really waiting for, and that's the kind of the beauty of cross-country Storm, right? You have to play pretty intelligently when it comes to your macro and how you're moving around, but you also want to make sure You're not putting yourself in a bad spot. Like right here, we see the connect onto Ash. And with Ash, even though they have the contingency vial, they're summoned on the wisp. They might have enough time. Can they be able to revive Ash? They might be able to drag back in their Mercury for one more battle, but BM, they're in a bad spot still. There goes Ash once again. They take down Orlando's only Spider Brawls left for BM as the bastard mention cannot get away. They try to get back over to the other side, but they are overheating. They've targeted their position. They find the spike, and finally, BM are no more.
I can't believe that, and it was really, really nice and fast reaction times from FFD to, make sure that they can get one kill and quickly look behind them because they knew that MST were hunting, if at any weak spot when a cooldown has been used to actually just capitalize on it and go for a full in. That was very, very nicely done by FFD, getting that one pick and then quickly cycling back.
Now they are still following the circle first, while Mist are trailing slowly behind them. But Mist, they've got their armor, they've got themselves a jet, and they've gotten themselves on top. But Fate strikes with a great grab into the golden beam, then the chilling finale. But they escape from the singularity. They try to apply the anti-heal by Fate. Make sure they take down Cask, and they're looking for a miss. That is going to be Fate taken down by Calcinator instead. 1-for-1, another fan play as they dive back onto the tracks, slicing through FFD. But Fuzu tries to heal back up. Dracos tries to get back onto land. They have to put up a barricade in order to escape. They're being cautious with how they position. They've got broken armor on Fuzu. They've got the overheat shield, and now Fuzu's gone. Draco's in the storm. Miss will pick up game 5.
Can't believe that, and that's just Kalsk, mandolin personified there with those slices. Oh my god, that was extra clean there. He just sent it in, had enough sustain. He got the passive proc, full red status, and just managed to just go crazy there. And it was right at the start of it, we saw Kubik with the insanely aggressive engage, and everything just went their way, it seems, for MST.
Yeah, I mean, Mist, well, I will say played really well in some of those fights, but as someone like Ash was saying, there were definitely some of those grabbies that missed from Fate Strikes. Had one of those landed, could have been a very different story that we saw. But Fate, I gotta say, at least he was going for the plays. He was trying his heart out to make that Void grabby squid play work. He was able to get it a couple times, but it is not the easiest to land consistently.
Yep, and of course for the last game, you had to put it in. It's going to be Bullet Trains game 6. It's going to be Bullet Trains.
All right, so
how many deaths are we expecting? We need like some we need some guesses here for you. How many people do you think are going to die to the train for this last game?
I feel like it's been getting crazier and crazier. So I'm going to go with 5. I'm going to say there's going to be 5 Bullet Train kills here for our last game of the EU version, the EU edition of the Mercury Multiverse.
Yep, I don't think you're that far off. I think 4 personally. I've got a time machine. It's 4. It's 4. It's got to be 4.
Okay. And just so everyone knows, we are going to add up the points before we do start up this game, so we can see how the teams are looking going into our very last game, so we know which teams we're pulling for, which teams we're expecting to win, but that doesn't guarantee anything. We saw earlier,
exactly.
You didn't see, but Cut All Vegetables, they were looking like they could win. They won game 6. They had enough points, but they didn't get enough Mercury points. So ASD ended up still being the #1 team after game 6, even though ASD, I think, dropped out 7th place in the final game too. So you never know.
Oh my god, and Zikarik, the actual GOAT, actually subbed, man. You're a legend, dude. Appreciate you so much, man.
Yeah, let's go.
Man, we need to get another captain at some point, man. Just for all time's sake. Holy.
Whew. All right.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, so let's see. I'm just going to wait for the points from Alario. We can show that off on stream. Here we go. So our points and how we are looking going into game 6.
Yep.
So in last place right now, Eevee. They have 17 points. They've only gotten 1 Mercury kill. So, unfortunately, only the 1, but they can move up pretty quickly. 11th place is RCW at 19 with 0 Mercury kills. ADD, 10th place, 28, 1 kill for Mercury. Shy, 34 and only 1 Mercury kill. Well, then moving up into 8th place, QTS, 52 with 5 Mercury kills. Been a little bit more proactive with making sure they're getting those Mercury kills, keeping them up in points. FFD, despite getting themselves 2nd place in that last game, only 58 points. 2 Mercury kills, definitely hurting them. real ones at 6th place with 80 points. 6 Mercury kills, looking much better. BM, the Bastard Munchen, they're at 88 points, 9 Mercury kills, a lot better. Miss 200, 4th place, 98 points, 7 Mercury kills. 3 Little Pigs, they are getting propelled up into the top standings purely based off their Mercury kills. 105 points, 18 Mercury kills. They understand the assignment. Then in 2nd place, Stormbreakers, 116, 8 Mercury kills. They have 2 wins. Keep that in mind. 2 wins, yet only the 8. So not that much further ahead than 3LP. While TSM still holds on to 1st place, but not quite that lead they had going into the 2nd half. They're at 120 with 9 Mercury kills.
Oh my god, that's insanity. So, you know, we're seeing maybe a sort of a diversification in strategies potentially. You know, of course, there's that kill point multiplier. It's 3 points, I believe, per Mercury kill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is.
So, you know, that does, you know, if people have that kind of specific kind of kill strategy, like you said with 3OP, they've managed to capitalize on it and get a, you know, relatively good position, all things considered, you know, without, they've not even won so far. So, you know, so between the top 3 teams, what's the point difference then?
So if we're looking at the our top teams, so TSM, they have 120. SB are behind them 4 points at 116, and then behind SB 11 points removed is 3LP with 105, and then 7 points removed from 3LP is Mist at 98. So there is potential for any of these 4 teams to win. Even BM, if we see TSM, SB, 3LP, and Mist have early exits going into this final game, there's a potential they win.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, I think we are pretty much ready then, if you are good to go.
I am ready. Let's get into our final game of the Mercury Multiverse EU edition. Let's see which team will join ASD as our winners for the Multiverse.
Oh my god. So, you know, at the end of the trailer for Mercury, we did see potentially a kind of a leak for a new character.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you've been theorizing, you know, what that character could be or what it could do.
I'm imagining probably another assassin. That was like at least from the very, very brief look of design, people are theorizing something to do with Wisp, which makes me think assassin. So we'll see. You know, you never know. There was a very brief window, so we have no idea.
And I think that's a really good point as well. Like in terms of the interaction with Wisps, we only really have Illuna, if I'm not mistaken, that has some sort of kind of interaction with Wisp. So I'm wondering with the new characters that they're potentially developing, you know, are there going to be more interesting interactions? Let's say, you know, a character could kind of maybe bottle up a Wisp and then use it as a currency or something weird, you know, like a Firefly or something. I'm imagining. I don't know.
Well, Eva does have something with Wisp too, the cooldown reduction.
Very true.
So there is something at least, but not quite like, you know, picking up the Wisp, that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Only really Illuna has like the big interaction with them. But here we go, Game 6 and Revel, we did show the points on stream. So right now, TSM are in 1st place with 120. SB, 2nd place, 116. And then 3 Little Pigs in 3rd place at 105. Not going to go through all the points because I want to get into this game as we see another conical-shaped drop. This time going from Chaos Tops, Emotech, all the way down again to the grind, though.
Interesting stuff. And Dawn Caps, of course, we're seeing how many teams? 4 teams potentially dropping.
Wow.
I'm not sure if there's a day one or something along those lines. Or
well, Dawn Caps got gold.
Shy.
Yeah, so I'm imagining there's got to be also another camp that's nearby too. But here we go, Shy, EV, early fight. That was a nice flame shield initially from Levi, but Hachi on Jewel for Game 6, getting double surge, taking down Wood. Then Levi, the next one, ground down by the Shy. As it is Mr. IC left alone to try to escape, backblast away, but Hachi in pursuit. EV, it is our last game, and they might get eliminated very quickly by the Shy, but another backblast from Mr. IC has given him a lot of distance.
Yeah, hopefully he's going to be able to make it out of this one. I'm sure that Shy are going to continue this chase endlessly because they wanted at least beeline at least to the armors, in fact. But if they're caught in the stunt device, they might just leave it and then maybe focus on armors or just focus on farm. It looks like FFD have already got the armors though, so that's not going to be you know, favorable for any team to go up to the north side anymore. At the same time, we're looking at on the train tracks potentially. 3OP, SB.
Fight between these 2 teams. Our 2 teams vying for a top spot with TSM. Cookies is already low, but he'll heal back up of that minion, then putting down the rock wave. They pummel damage on Aiden, who has to get into the anomaly to try to get away. Does seem the 3LP should be able to do so despite a lot of damage. No! Gecko slams the back line. Shroom put down a Vortex Charm, hopping on the tire to get over the wall. But it seems that SB are making the call to look for Shroom, the more tricky one to actually lock down. Shroom.
He's definitely one of the most evasive Zephs we have on EU. His Zephs had over the years. He's definitely been one of the people to utilize the B hops and all the other various tech movements immaculately on that Zeph.
I mean, we saw it earlier. Oh, what a rock wave! Cookies! Blocking the retreat there for Shroom, but then propelling him over the wall.
Yeah, the Z-axis, man. That's insane. Oh my god. He never falters, man.
Storm closing.
I was about to say, Shroom had those insane moves earlier today, too. How long did he live in that final circle where he was going around and around and around like a merry-go-round? It's insane to see how good he is on that movement with Zeph.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every what's it called, region has their own Zeph player that has this kind of movement, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone in NA as well. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen insane movement, across basically every region at the same time. Phase Strikes, full armored up, trying to get some damage onto Shy. Hachi goes in with the dash, gets a couple of LMB charges onto Phase Strikes, tries to TP away into the mountain. Does it at the last second, broken on low HP. Hachi now on low HP himself. One
Nice.
HP already down. Yasuo has to now jump ship.
Yeah, missing that surge when full stacks were built up onto Fate Strikes, I think was the doom for Hachi there. So Shy now in full retreat mode, yes sir. This time the one who's been put on Mercury duty as it's going to be chilling finale. They already hit those 7s, but that was ambitious there, Dracos. I know what you're trying to do, but yes sir had enough to get away.
Yep, and you do see Sprokane on the top side getting that res on Dawn Caps as well. We've seen car pickups from RCW, and they may be potentially having a collision with 3LP if they do meet up. At the same time, we're looking at a trade rotation from QTS. BM temporarily split as well themselves. As we look at a kind of general macro overview of the map and all the players inside it.
And seeing how the teams are, where everyone's kind of moving around. Probably our most central circle we have seen today, at least for EU.
Yeah.
Where we've been on like the edges for so many of them. Even on game 1, we saw that kind of focusing on Chaos Sips before pulling us back over to the tracks. Here in our final game, keeping us honed in a little bit around Wraith's Row, a little bit around the heart.
Yeah, and so many teams now converging onto Vane Grove. It's 40 seconds left. It's only for money as well. But how many teams are going to be fighting for this boss? I'm a bit concerned that there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 teams dying potentially after this night finishes.
Especially for our final game. Don't want to be the first team eliminated. Nice Bungie that pulls them back in, but they've got their unstable anomaly, and look at the damage with the singularity, trying to lock it down with the golden beam. He's healing up Gecko for so damn long, but now, out of nowhere, FFD with their own singularity onto Cookies. The escape was managed by Gecko, but it was at the cost of Cookies and Tetra.
Yep, and now it's the Mercury LMB flurries being sent by in both directions. Of course, both Voids have their ultis off cooldown, so it's going to be another while before another team can maybe look for a kidnap or a full engage. Wordie looks to TP down to the right-hand side, or maybe a full disengagement in this scenario. And as well as that, Shy have also got the res off. MST looking for a little pounce onto them potentially. Yasa might be in trouble. The car's not been blown up just yet, and now it's just Mortars being exchanged.
Both sides having pretty weak armor, so gonna be an even fight. Just Brocane on the level 2. A lot of damage, broken armor. They see weakness on Jewel. They've got Hachi. They can look for yes sir with the back blast, trying to get away and out of Ion Acres. Golden Beam does a lot, as even though you had your own Golden Beam, yes sir, it's not enough to be able to out-heal all that damage that was pumped at you. So only Sprokane again has been left for the Shy.
Yep, it's like we're watching like a power washing simulator there. Just trying to get that trophy polished up when Yasa uses the stasis, and then the beam's on top of him. Very reminiscent of that. And at the same time, it looks like Shy have already got the res off. They're already back in it as a full 3-man. We're looking at OC, of course, last alive. Maybe looking for a heart res or something along those lines on the south side as well. Potentially 2 teams converging here. ADD, the ulti's already popped.
Me puts down Golden Beam, blows up the Sky Shark, gets a little bit of damage on Araxa, but they have gotten back. They are escaping. They hop on a new bike. They'll take the jet stream to get away, but escape is not an option here, not in Game 6. You're looking to move up in the standings or see if you can be the #1 team like for SB. If they can beat FFD, it'd be good for them to try to move up and catch up with TSM. They're only 4 points behind them, but we see other fights. Looking at Wood, barely getting away, putting down the Singularity, but with the Woody already gone, and they try to swap away, but there's not enough damage, and now VM are out in the south in the Mage Bog, pushing back EV, while the real ones have regrouped with the Waddies, going to be the target, low health. Even though their Golden Beam's been placed down, they have to see if they can chase down the real ones, and we have our first team eliminated. Game 6, RCW are out.
Just north of that, we see Wood is already dead. They're looking for a rest potentially, but TR are just waiting patiently. The Squid there with the play, the stun. Doesn't get a connection. He's gonna make it out with the Slither MHP, maybe. TP plays as well. And just before that, I'd like to mention, you know, Tier 1, just as Wody died, they got the TP, and they actually moved both members into the face of the other team. And then there's a third party, which actually allowed them to survive. Very, very lucky. Oh, in the zone as well.
They've got Zebi. They've got to make sure that Choipy doesn't come back up. He tried to get back over with the portal, and they are looking to hunt down QTS. ADD got OC15 Courageous over at the tracks. Might have a path to get out of this fight, but it is Bullet Train. It's going to be a little bit too quick for you to be able to hop on, so that's why he hops on a different mode of transportation.
Yep. Oh, and MST and FFD have in their little fight. Looks like they're going to split ways for the moment, so going to flick down on the bottom right side. It looks like a Cask is taken down, Shrew, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
On the north side, looks like it's a narrow escape by Aiden. Oh.
Droom should be stomped. Low health bars. Akalinks couldn't get into the back line and couldn't get enough damage. TSM healed back up the full. They've pushed back 3 LP. And over in the heart, the Shy has Sprocane fallen. The player that has brought the team back up over and over again is now gone as they put down the Tetra Form to make sure that Hachi cannot escape either. SB collecting on these points.
Yep, and Yas is circling around now to the heart. Obviously, it's 10 seconds that he's got to wait, and there's so many teams around him. I'm hoping he can get this one off. He's going to have to circle around here numerous times. He's playing underneath the heart as well, taking extra
Oh, no! He went a little bit too high! Hops right into the heart, and their hearts are going to be broken after that one. So the Shy, an early exit for them. We see QTS. They've revived the team and have a far better fight this time around against ADD. Separating both of them, Pointer, Raxa, in opposite directions.
And Pointer's now looking for his own heart res. He's, you know, slowly making his way up, and just below that, EV looks like a massive engagement between them and QTS.
Already launched the fight. Levi in the back line with a flame shield, trying to apply the anti-heal, but they've got the Cinnabar concoction. They've been able to outlast Volcanic Crusher, locking down Troipy, but again, they're keeping themselves healthy, but the Sky Shark about to blow. Neither teams will have blow for blow anymore.
Just to the right of that TSM and 3OP again. Raxa on the car, looking to circle around right at the last second. Once he found those two teams, and that might have provided Akalinks an opening, trying to catch Meep off guard. Pops the ulti. Looks like they're going to neutralize everything with another ulti pop with the hover wings as well by Aiden. So a nice bit of utility utilized by 3OP. Might provide TSM with the opportunity to capitalize. Oh, if the Squid connected, it would have been insane.
Oh yeah, that would have been the immediate pull for TSM. 3LP, one of those teams that is competing for the top of the standings. TSM would like to remove them and feel a little bit more relief when it comes to how they play in these later games. But right now, there are two teams that are already down, but it's not enough for our teams at the top.
Yeah, we're looking at a res attempt that is going to be successful on the north side. We're looking at BM potentially looking to guard this one. Wody chilling in the tree, in the bushes. Is he going to get a sneak pick onto someone is the question. He's waiting patiently, biding his time. You can see his aim cursor slowly moving around.
Spotted
He's
out.
looking for it.
Come on, anybody gonna realize? It's a little bit late, but he's also a little bit late on the call too. So now swapping back to the rest of the team, not wanting to play for that sneak play with the sneak singularity, but Magic Mortar gonna do a lot. They snipe Orlando's, and even if they miss the grabby squid, they've already chased away the other two players of BM.
Yep, there is a train potentially coming down that they can look to grab whenever possible. At the same time, on the south side, looks like a couple of fights where, you know, looked to be festering, and then they didn't actually turn into anything in the end. Never mind, at the top side, looks like MST and QTS having their little engagement for those day 4 mobs. Resets whenever possible. A pad is dropped as well by Kaos. He's looking to go extra aggro. OC slightly lagging behind his team. The face steel chains pop for an extra bit of mobility by Kaos. And Courageous, can he make it away? Okay, look, he gets away right at the last second.
TSM are nearby. They had been staring down 3LP for some time, but now missed 200. They can third-party TSM. That'd be a big team for them to take down. They're right on the outskirts, and if they can get an early elimination on TSM and 3LP, that can elevate them. There's already a lot of damage on a Little Meep. They've noticed that Acklinks has been separated. They try to go for the flight of the Firefox, but they're not able to get onto the Krista in time. There's going to be Shroom onto the back line. Golden Beam, then second win. Cask now going to be tackled down by TSM, but he's been able to get back with the rest of the team. They already removed one for 3LP. They heal back up. Miss 200 are still in this game, and they can still stand strong. While we look at a different fight, Tetra Form, Rock Blast, everything pummeled at EV, but EV outlasted, they out survived. They've lost Wood, but Levi was able to heal back up with Mr. IC. But now Stormbreakers with the bubble gum, they got the grab and they got the grabby squid. It's going to be Mr. IC that they pummel with the boulders, leaving only Levi.
I think on the north side, there's numerous fights going on as well, continuously, all the time, and there's Mortars are going to keep continuously being exchanged by both of these teams, ADD and FFD in this scenario. They're hanging on the ship on the height just for now. We're looking at, what is it in this scenario? A revival. Levi last alive. Maybe he's looking to kill that one to get his team back. That can be an entry point for them to get back in the game. Full health. Meanwhile, at the same time, T1 do get outed in this scenario. 10th place. So QTS managed to acquire a little bit more power there. 4-3.
A little bit more, a couple more points while Miss 200. They will slowly retreat out of this one. Looking at the teams that are remaining, 3LP are down to one player, but Levi, he was the last one for EV as well. Another team out of the Mercury Multiverse. ADD getting pummeled here by the rocks launched at them by Cookies. Trying to jump pad back to BM, but BM holding onto the tracks, putting down the Golden Beam. They've separated ADD, and they're looking for Rakzaz, the first casualty. Mercury down. Flight of the Firefox from Sebi to try to get away, but QTS were already in position to try to chase down the Fox and look to see if they can get anything, but not quite. Well, we look back at the heart and we see FFD and SB tearing one another down, getting a little bit of damage, frozen barricade, and even with Cookies putting down a little bit of suppressive fire from the boulders, they're going to be the team that slowly tries to retreat up north.
Yep, we do see a crown pick up by Aiden right at the last second as well. If I'm not mistaken, they are in contention to potentially win this if they get enough points, etc. And kills, of course, with the Mercury 3 points per kill on Mercury. We're looking at Sebi as well, trying to juggle as much as possible. He managed to mantle right at the end there when he was in combustion state in the gliders, and I might be in combustion state again. Okay, he's managed to find some solid ground right at the last second. And then we're also looking at Aiden now as well again.
For Aiden, mentioned. If he can get this crown play, they've... Oh, never mind! Hello, Spider Brawl! He noticed that crown and said, this is too easy.
Oh my god, on the south side, looks like MST have done the rotation. ADD are also finally out in 7th place. And now we're looking at TSM looking to maybe walk up against SB again. On the left-hand side, we're looking at Dracos, FFD as well, just kind of lurking, trying to get some buys in or, you know, some items, some loot whenever possible. Because the next couple of circles are going to be extra demanding on all of your resources. So make sure you're having the econ is definitely a good thing.
Realistically, we're looking at Team Steady Momentum and Stormbreakers as our favorites. Narrowly avoiding the train, I saw that as well. Mist, if they can get rid of both SB and TSM now, there is a possibility that they sneak past everybody, but they also got to make sure they are piling in these kills for Cask. It is going to be a tall task to ask for them, but there is always that potential.
Yep, and we do see Cookies with the Dragon Breath rounds. So that might provide an extra bit of value here potentially, because we do see pretty much all teams relatively healthy on armor. So having that extra bit of damaging ability does make things a little bit smoother and easier for teams to kind of fully aggress on and look for kills as well. With this limited space, having the Mortars on Mercury is just going to provide infinite value, potentially dropping 2 E-plats as we are seeing here. Just provide that extra kind of AB jumping for teams to kind of jump between to ensure that they're safe and not taking too much poke damage.
Already a base camp has been placed down by BM as well, so that gives them even more space to play with. But here's cool.
Yep.
We have still yet to get any train kills here, Samiri.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Singularity pop at the last second. TP played by Fate Strikes manages to circle around at the last second. Very, very nice little bit of mobility there from Fate.
But here we go. Miss 200 sees QTS getting a lot of damage with the missile breaker launched at them by Courageous, but OC-15 held on. They heal back up with the Cinnabar cocktail on the other island, while Mist, they're going to have to heal back up as well. They've got a jump pad. They are playing with the fire, and they were deciding that they want to fight against QTS. Throwing down the chains, and it's going to be the Golden Beam trying to get a little bit of damage, but now the Golden Beam healing them back up. But now they're getting assailed from 2 sides as BM come out of nowhere and help to eliminate QTS with Mist.
Oh, and the overkill rounds come out. It looks like it might be
Uh-oh.
free pickings potential for BM. Lots of cooldowns have been utilized.
Uh-oh.
They're getting sandwiched. They're trying to find a little bit of space on the north side. Kausk managed to get away with the sliver HP. Kask is dead. One last alive for MST. Can they make it out of this
No
scenario? The
way.
Squid. No.
And there's another team down, which means Mist's hopes are gone. It's up to a TSM and Stormbreakers win the Mercury Multiverse EU edition. Well, yes, FFD and BM, they're also here. They aren't close enough in the points to be able to keep up with these two teams. As we see the SB try to play aggressively against BM first. But FFD, they will sandwich them. This is not looking good. SB, you just done this yourselves, and now you are melted down to the laser beam from Fuzu. While stomping on the west, MB, they should be able to get rid of some, but it is going to be them pushing back with TSM at their flank. A lot of damage onto BM. They have outlasted. They have survived. They are alive, and we see on the train that SB, they survived too.
Yep, they got their own res off. The train was there conveniently just as they died. Very, very nicely timed. And at the same time, FFD, Phaetrax is in big trouble potentially. He's getting healed up rapidly. They're right at the last moment. And the stuns are coming in right as well from the Chonkers as well, whenever possible. Slash the stuns from Void. They're just chilling on height.
And looking at that, Fuzu can't get that same elevation, so he's got to go back onto the tracks, and he is locked into the corridor, barely avoiding the train. How did that not land? They've got shields, too. They put up a frozen barricade. It gives them time that is needed for FFD. And BM are still here in the same position. This is the killing fields for teams. So many have fallen here in Wraith's Row, and MB are still playing aggressively. They put down the Tetraform from Cookies. They've got the Golden Bean trying to heal themselves back up, but Deperek is going to be gone. Now the train. Oh, it's Cookies driving right into the train. As the battle gun does not connect for Gecko, he's the last one left for the Stormbreakers.
Yeah, FFD managed to find, they're in enough space to just get their heals up, that they desperately needed for Fuzu. Gecko's now circling around. He's definitely going to be looking to pick up that crown, but BM are maybe guarding this one on the south side. The circle's not favoring them either. He's trying a box res. The zone damage is going to be ever punishing. The train is coming too. He's going to stick it.
Yeah,
he's going to circle back, maybe try and get a bit of loot when possible. Spardable's definitely going to stop this res, and hopefully it doesn't get spiked here.
And here's TSM 2, Stormbreakers. Their hope was to outlast TSM, and they couldn't do so. TSM now primed to win the multiverse, but still, they want to win this game. FFD, the latter half of the games, they have been fighting tooth and nail. BM2, ever since game one, that early elimination, they have been looking far stronger game to game, but they have still found themselves further down in the score point total.
Yeah, I think they're trying to assess the power levels of both teams in this scenario. They've got this little pocket of space as well with the E-plat to play on, but it's going to be quite punishing for either side to get this one engaged.
Singularity.
Pop by Phase Strikes.
Is that enough damage? They got the swap as well, Abyssal Breaker, but they've got the damage. They've taken down Theo. The train, it went past, but TSM, they're down one player. And then FFD have to deal with the Bastard Moonshin, and they already lost Phase Strikes. They might be able to heal them up, but that laser beam damage. Fuzu's been dumped down, and TSM with the crown. Can they steal that away? They didn't get it in time on a Fuzu, but still, Phase Strikes was able to somehow survive with the help of the contingency vial. That is going to be Blink that has the attention on him, putting down some damage. Phase Strikes over the wall. Blink narrowly avoiding that with the Phase Walk, but now Fate is in the middle of the tracks, dealing with them, trying to swap back over to the elevation on top of Blink. He needs that crown. Hover wings into the wall. Another swap above them. It's going to be the Bastard Moonshin pushing back TSM. Blink's gone. It's only Fate back on the respawn beacon. But BM win our final game of the multiverse.
I gotta say, Phase Strike's movement there to just evade all the damage incoming persistently. It's about 3 or 4 times he's done it. Every game it's been 3 or 4 times he's managed to evade, get a second place. You just, oh my god, it's just cinema to watch. And Blink as well with that predictive movement. I think he saw the train coming, had the shift ready. I thought I was gonna get baited there and see Blink die, but no, he had the shift ready. He was baiting us.
He did. What a final game. So we gotta add up these points, see how our EU edition of the multiverse is looking. But I'd have to imagine TSM, they made it to top 3. They should be the team winning, but SB did get a lot of Mercury kills in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And considering we got the point scores already calculated for Game 5, hopefully it's not too long for us to wait before we find out this final scores. What's your prediction so far?
Like I said, I'm thinking TSM should take it. They should be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
team to win, but there is the possibility that SB sneak past them because the Mercury points, 3 points for each Mercury kill, could somehow squeeze them past. They were only 4 points behind TSM going into this final game.
My God, insanity. I love those small circles as well. Of course, with bullet trains, it's going to converge onto those train tracks. And, it was so insane as well to see how that fight actually transpired with TSM actually going in with the initial in right at the start, then the singularity pop by Fate Strikes, and then the TP back as well. And then, the fight just went absolutely chaotic from there because there's a team on the right-hand side that looked for a third party, and then, oh, man. Oh, so much to digest.
This is what makes it so much fun to watch, and unfortunately, we were both wrong on the bullet train. Only, I think, the 1 kill. So not quite as many as we would have liked in that final game. But still,
Yeah, it was just cookies, right?
yeah, it was just cookies. You accidentally overshot with the grabby squid and went right into the train.
Man, oh man. So, wow.
Yeah, I need
Insane stuff.
definitely need a little bit of some breathing here because my voice is getting tired. This is now 12 games that I've done for the multiverse, and I have hopefully 6 more later for NA.
Oh my God, that's going to be incredible. Yeah, hopefully you've got enough signups. I believe the link did get posted by one of the Kind members right there not too long ago.
Before we go, so definitely if you're any NA players, or yeah, I know, if you just want to play, if you're an EU player and you're going to be awake for it, sign up. We can use the signups. If we can hit 12, that is perfect. That's all I want. I want to be able to bring this to every single one of our regions. We got APAC, we got EU, we just need NA. So as we have our points, we got them added up. So, like we did before, I'm going to get this ready so we can go through. We will start at the bottom
For sure.
for everybody.
Let's hear it.
At the bottom, RCW, they did sub in last minute. We appreciate you coming in, but 19 points only gets them 12th place, while EV, even though they are 1 point above them at 20, it is enough to get them at 11th place. The Shy then will find themselves at 10th place with 37 points. ADD, 9th place at 40. 8th place, QTS, 62 points. With FFD above them at 79 points. 7th place. 6th place for the real ones at 84. Missed. They were able to break the triple digits, but that only got them 5th place, 116 points. 4th place, 3 Little Pigs. 3LP actually tied. So technically, we have a tiebreaker that we need to figure out for 3LP and missed, and it is broken up by Mercury kills, which we already knew. 3LP with 20 Mercury kills, so they will have 4th place. 3rd place, BM.
Roll.
130 points. And now, the moment we have been waiting for. The winner of the EU edition for the Mercury Multiverse is Stormbreakers! They pass with 148 because they got the Mercury kills, 14 in total. They pass TSM, who had 135. Well done to SB.
Incredible stuff by SB there. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy.
Crazy. The Mercury diff. Hey, these are meant for that reason, to be fun. We had the Mercury kills. And we have the Mercury wins for Stormbreakers. Congratulations to them. Now let's find someone to go raid because I need to take a break. Alright, who is streaming right now? Who do we got? We got... Why don't we give it over to... Let's give it over to the Pancake. She's streaming right now. So here, if you don't have that, I will post it in the chat. All right, thanks, Samiri. Anything you'd like to say before we head on out? Oh, he might be already ending his stream. So guys, thank you so much for joining in. My voice is definitely getting sore, getting tired, but we have hopefully one more left for us. And so I will go ahead and raid the pancake. You guys take care. I will see you hopefully later. Like I said, make sure we get those NA signups. Post it wherever you can. I'll even make sure to post it once more for us here. Spread it around so that we have enough signups. I think we have, let's see how many signups we have before I end. We have 11. We just need one more. Okay, guys, one more. That's it. We're almost there. Thank you guys for joining in. I appreciate you all. Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna post this. Copy. Post that. And we're gonna do this. There we go. We're gonna raid the pancake. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye and good day until 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll see you there.